expensive.
We're live. Hey
Hello,
guys.
everyone. Welcome in.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Gymbreakers for another month. This is the Invitational, the special Invitational competition, the losers round number 7, the final of the losers round between Italy and Chile. Italy just coming in from the upper bracket, having lost against the USA, and facing against Chile, who just last night managed to overcome France in pretty decisive fashion and are now looking to continue their form against Italy. Below me, I've got Hurricane Kaz. G'day, Kaz. How you doing?
Good. I'm so ready for these battles. I was just looking at the bracket, and it seems like Chile has been pretty dominant so far. I'm really wondering if they can keep that streak going.
Next to Kaz, we've got Need for Speedy. Hey, Speedy.
Howdy. I definitely was like looking at everything, trying to see how everything was going and how the Gymbreakers format has been progressing forward, because it's very interesting to see how much it has moved forward and how big of a part of the community it is. So
Yeah. And right next to me, we have Pacho Blues back for another month. Hey, Pacho.
Hello, guys. How are you doing today? Back here from Brazil to narrate your battles in a very nice and fashionable Brazilian accent. I hope you enjoy. And thanks
Beautiful.
again for the invitation.
Yeah,
Glad to
absolutely
be
my
here.
pleasure. All right, so it works pretty much the same as the Gym Breakers competitions that you know and love. So we've got 8 players per team. Each team is representing their country, and the players are paired off and face against each other in a set of 3 battles. Each battle that you win is a point for your country and your team, and at the end of all 8 16 battles, there's like they pair off, and yeah, whatever. At the
Tell
end
them
of
how
all the
much math
battles,
we need to
yeah,
do.
there's math. Yeah, nobody told me we'd have to do math. But at the end of all the battles,
Oops.
whoever has the highest score wins. It's basically first to 25. There's a total of 48 battles across all of the battlers in the team, and so whoever is the first to 25 will take it out. This is a double elimination format, as we mentioned earlier in the stream. So that is probably the main difference between this invitational and the regular Gymbreakers, where that's World Cup style. They have their group stage, and then it's just single elimination from there. This one's a double elimination, so there's a little bit more play and different dynamics going on between the countries. So let's take a look at the meta. This is the meta that Gymbreakers have picked for this competition. So Electric, Bug, Dragon, Dark, and Normal types with a bunch of individual bands. Now, guys, does anyone have any observations about kind of picks they have seen in, maybe you caught the other streams, or maybe you look at this meta and think, oh yeah, this Pokemon stands out. Does anyone have any thoughts?
I mean, as soon as you involve normal types, I see a lot of potential for some really dynamic matchups. But the inclusion of Dark also brings the inevitable Mandibuzz, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I look to a meta like this, and I see dragon and I don't see either, fairy, ice, or steel, I know that dragons are gonna be everywhere, like double dragon, sometimes triple dragon. Of course, we have some typings there that can mitigate that. Like for example, we have like a bug steel types that can counter dragons, but you see, it's gonna be like a very somewhat mixed paced meta. Like we have bulky things like Hurricane said, like
Mm-hmm.
Mandibuzz. We have Lantern, but we also have like Shadow Dragonite running around. So it's gonna be very interesting thing to see.
Yeah. And
and to
yeah.
build up on that, there's definitely like the Dene and Wigglytuff that are like the two fairy types that could
Yeah,
help counteract that. They're
Yeah,
both bans.
sneak in
yeah.
here. But they are both, yeah, they're both on that ban list. I mean, that ban list includes a lot of things that you might normally think, like, oh, it can get away without, like a normal fairy like Wigglytuff. Sometimes always manages to squeak by with that normal typing, but not this time.
Yeah, so it
Yeah, I
almost feels
mean,
like they've
there
gone.
is.
Go on, Pacha. You're the guest.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I was watching some battles yesterday on the live stream, and what I noticed was like there's a ton and a ton of like neutral matchups. It's not really RPS based, so it's very
Mhm,
similar to last month's meta, the Architect Cup.
mhm.
And in this one, it's all about energy and where you spend your shields, and whoever can beat the other one faster. At least that's what I feel like it. So
Yeah,
Gotta get those galaxy brain plays.
okay. Which we get a lot of in these Gymbreakers matches.
yeah.
So let's take a look at the bracket, how each of these teams has gotten here. Now, we have kind of alluded to this already, but Chile has been pretty dominant up until now. They have, let's see, let's try and find them over here. Where are they? Chile, 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 Chile. There. So, okay, never mind. They weren't dominant initially, but okay, it was down in
No,
the
they got
losers
sent to
bracket.
yeah, they got sent to the losers bracket immediately, but from there they were like, never again.
Yeah, right. They learned their lesson. So look at this: 32-15 against Germany, then 29-14 against Canada, then against Sweden. That's a closer one, 26-22. But then India was 27-16. And France was 25-14. So like you were right, some very dominant matchups there. It's just in that first one. They basically, yeah, how often does a first round loser fight their way to this point in the losers finals? Like that's pretty rare, especially like 7
Yeah.
rounds.
I feel like we've been seeing that, as Challenge has become more popular with the Invitational, like the Play Pokemon Invitational series. I feel like we've been seeing that happen a lot across brackets, like people just sneaking back up, slowly making their way. So it's a good point that like losing that first matchup doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
so
And
so basically, who wins this bracket today is gonna face the USA, right?
that's correct. Yeah, so they're the only undefeated team. They are one of 3 teams that are left in the competition. The other two, of course, being these two, Italy and Chile. Let's just take a look at Italy's path, because Italy have basically had the opposite story. They won their first match against France, who have only just been eliminated. It could have been a rematch of Italy and France tonight, but then they came up against Canada, wiped the floor with them. They beat Spain in a very close encounter, and then it wasn't until they came up against USA that they finally got their first loss, and now they are down fighting for their lives, trying not to go back-to-back losses against Chile.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see how these two obviously very like experienced and determined teams.
Take it out, yeah. All right, so these
I think it's very
yeah.
interesting on having like an underdog story in this case, where it's like, we can definitely try to. I know sometimes I'm like, oh, I kind of like the underdog story, seeing it all the way come back through the bracket and then like win the entire thing. I know in some of the Play Pokemon series that there were like where they had to reset the bracket and it's like 10 intense matches all combined together after being reset, and it's like it's mentally taxing, and so like trying to prevent that double loss is definitely going to be huge.
Totally. And you mentioned a bit of an underdog story. It's like an underdog versus overdog story, because yeah, like we said, Italy have been going so well until now, so they're the incumbents. They're the ones that I mean are the big bosses to take down. So it's kind of providing a bit of a, I don't know, you kind of root for Chile.
I mean, I gotta say, I am a little bit. I like the idea that they, getting knocked out that first round and just duking it out and never losing again after that in the losers bracket. That's pretty intimidating, and I hope they can pull it off.
However,
I mean, we do definitely see.
sorry, I keep doing that. Sorry, I keep talking at the same time you do. Yeah, you go ahead, sweetie.
There are some definitely well-known names on Chile's side that I feel like, but honestly, there are some well-known names on Italy's side. So it's not like these are new battlers coming out of the dust. Like these are battlers who have been known for some time for their skill.
Yeah.
So definitely be interesting.
I'm ready to be impressed. I'm ready.
I know their Raging Taz on the Italian side is someone who has been in the Sylph scene for a very, very long time. Like he's a pre-GBL pick 6 player. I feel Ventuski is another one. He is one of the original Continental champions as well. So some stacked names. I'm loving it. Looking forward to it.
Exactly. I'm very much looking forward to these battles. I'm gonna be so impressed.
One more thing that we have to mention is that this stream is brought to you by Pogo Raiders. They have been sponsoring Gymbreakers for a very long time. If you're looking for an online tool for hosting and joining raids, you have to check out Pogo Raiders. Pogo Raiders have been optimizing a fully custom raiding organization tool for over a year with over 3,000 raids per day and over 150,000 members. You must try their free raiding tool. Beyond that, they're also a community of dedicated Pokemon Go players. Join their monthly PvP tournaments with cash prizes. Find help from some of the best players in the world, along with access to infographics and information about everything coming up in Pokemon Go. You can check them out at pogoraiders.gg or on Discord at discord.gg/pogoraiders.
Yeah, if you need those Kartanas or those Celesteels, you know where to find them.
Right.
Over there.
All right, and with that, we are going to get into the first battle. So, let's see, it's going to be Kaz and Speedy taking it for this first one. Let me just make sure I've got the right scenes up, because I normally am behind the scenes here, so I'm trying to put on my producer's hat and my hosting hat at the same time. So, here we go. Take it away, ladies.
Oh,
Wow.
awesome. This is
Yes,
so
we
exciting to like explore this new meta with some of the most talented battlers in the world.
Absolutely. I'm kind of just taking a quick look at these. We do see Double Dark on Matt's side.
Yeah, and we do see that Dragonite, Shadow Dragonite at that coming out to really throw down some hard energy hits.
But I mean, I also see Flygon, which definitely will have some potential with either two different fast moves, because it could just be Dragon Tail, which it recently got a buff, so like can be definitely pretty good here. We need to watch out for the Escav though, because it is a bug steel type, resist the Dragonite. We don't know what movesets are on the Mandibuzz, which Air Slash is a little bit more positive.
Air Slash is gonna
especially up against-
Yeah, Air
up
Slash
against
is going to help you deal a lot of neutral damage, even against something like, you know, the Dragonite, where it's not, you know, it's not necessarily gonna one-shot it, but it will help you get up that energy and take down that very glassy dragon a little bit at a time. But we see Double Dark, you mentioned, on Matt's side, but we see Double Dragon on Willie's side. And again, with this meta, there's not like a lot of hard counters here. I don't look at these teams. I mean, you have Vigoroth against Umbreon, I guess, but even that is not stab damage, so Umbreon can keep hitting all along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Umbreon is definitely unreasonably bulky at times, where it's like you see it always live on 1 HP in a dream to throw off the last charge move.
I'm always the one sitting there like, how do you have energy?
Yes, I love it sometimes where it's like, I was like actually looking at it and I'm like, oh wow, Shadow Claw is actually hurting. It's not healing my Umbreon. But it was like, it was such a close match that it was the Umbreon's living on 1 HP and I had to farm down. And it's like, oh, Umbee's a good boy.
Yeah. I see a lot of potential for the Vigoroth on Matt's side. I mean, that can deal pretty neutral damage across the board to Willie's team over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're ready to get in, see how
I am so ready to see how these matches play out. Excited to see whether we get, oh my god, right off the bat, Dragon on Dragon violence.
Absolutely.
And they're both on Dragon Breath.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
it looks like the
gracious.
IV difference is unfortunately taking Willie's Dragonite down to Matt. It was obtaining switch advantage and almost up to a Dragon Claw on move.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely
deciding
going to be able to throw before
it
goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And not shielding on the part of the Vigoroth, knowing that it can take that damage and get some energy from that dragon early on.
So as Matt has decided to bring in the Lantern, which is a very smart call. But we do see Amanda Buzz in the back for Willie, which is going to make this very rough and difficult. This Vigoroth is going to have to do a lot of work on this Lantern, but counter is a typically pretty good fast move, applying some fast move pressure and charge move pressure with how quickly it charges.
But Lantern just got that buff and now can get to surf incredibly quickly against this Vigoroth, getting it out of the way. And knowing that this Vigoroth is going to be really important to taking down this Lantern, get an early shield from Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see this body slam coming off. It won't be able to secure the knockout, but it will get it dangerously close. And we see the
Did
first
get a
shield
shield
from that side. Yes.
So
But
yeah, we
see
have
the
no.
return.
Yeah,
Shield.
well, if you have Amanda Buzz in the back and you have a Lantern in front of you, you kind of know you got to get this out of the way. This fish is dangerous. And seeing that, you see a swap from Willie into what I believe to be their own Vigoroth?
I believe that is what it is. So we see the immediate swap
Exactly.
into Amanda Buzz. This Vigoroth is on 1 HP a dream. We see a call coming through. But-
Do not disturb mode. Do not disturb mode.
Maybe we'll see a switch there. But we do see that body slam does do some chunking damage on Mandabuzz. But
Yeah, I
the
mean,
Mandabuzz
there are
is-
no shields left for Matt to use. So Mandabuzz is pretty chunky, but these body slams are going to start adding up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Willie trying to build up to 2 moves at the same time. Throwing a little bit earlier, but understanding that the Lantern, he's just going to have to be able to not outpace the Lantern. We do see the
Exactly.
final shield from Matt's side, able to secure the body slam, which will almost be able to knock out, or should be able to secure the knockout.
I do think this is going to knock out the Mandabuzz. I mean, it's tanky, but that is the last bit of HP. And then we see a counter down from Willie Gen 10. Wow, what a way to start out those matches with the Dragonite Mirror just knocking both of those powerhouses out of the way immediately.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an attack break point on Dragon Breath. That is why we were able to see just the straight farm down.
I really have to think that it has to do with the IVs, but we don't have that information in front of us. So all we can do is wonder how Matt is going to adjust for the second. We see immediately the other Dragonite, and they're still just going to stay in the same matchup. Now we do have both cameras, and we can see Vigoroth and Lantern in the back for Matt, and the Mandabuzz and the Vigoroth still in the back for Willie Gen.
Are we seeing a repeat? Is this like a same repeat? Taking the damage on the Vigoroth, knowing it's going to be able to take it, but it is exact same mirror teams exactly playing out, farming down the Dragonite with counter.
This is literally playing out the exact same way, my goodness. But we have the other camera now, so I have to think that this is a new matchup. There's really, I mean, I don't know how they could actually play this any differently. The surf buff to Lantern is really, really helpful to Matt at this time.
Well, we do see a shield first. I believe the first time the Lantern was not shielded, but now understanding potentially that there is a flyer in the back that really doesn't want to see this Lantern or the Lantern up against the remaining Pokemon on Willie's side. Making sure it's nice and healthy, and understandably so, because it can definitely get off charge boost quickly, but Vigoroth can also counter back with body slams pretty quickly as well.
As we see it doing here, it's like, it's got multiple body slams in the works, but the surfs are coming out. Vigoroth wins that CMP tie because it did look like Lantern, the surf was being clicked on.
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding now this Vigoroth is going to be knocked out, and we do have the Mandabuzz in the back, but will it be able to take the Thunderbolt?
The Lantern is pretty low health now, so unless it can get to that Thunderbolt before, which it does.
Yeah, definitely gonna do some damage to the Mandabuzz, but
yeah, and then I think you have to immediately swap here, so that you don't get that farm down.
Absolutely. I mean, this body slam, though, is secure the knockout and give another win to Matt for his team.
Exactly.
Definitely cleaning up almost 1 HP in a dream, but can't really do much about it.
Yeah, can't really
Sometimes
get to
that's
those energy. Yeah, can't really get to those energy reserves, and that's unfortunate.
yeah, and that's like the one thing on that first match with Mandibuzz. Sometimes it seems to be Umbreon in the sense that it can always somehow live on 1 HP to get stuff off, but that was just an impossible mission there. So,
Yeah,
do we
except
actually
for
expect an adjustment?
I mean, if looking at these team matchups, I mean, Willygen has some really strong potential switches, and we do see he has now gone double dragon in the back, and starting out, both of them have now swapped from their dragons into more neutral matchup of Mandibuzz on Vigoroth.
Yeah, but we do understand though that if Willie is able to get that Flygon on the Lantern, that's going to be a huge victory in the sense that that is a more positive matchup for Flygon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we still have yet to see whether that Flygon has the Dragon Tail or the Mud Shot. I mean, there are certainly advantages to both. In this situation, though, with the Lantern also having now access to a spammier move in Surf, you might actually want the Mud Shot to be able to get to those Earth powers even quicker.
Yes, absolutely, and especially in this meta.
Oh, and we do see
a Lantern for the foul play, unshielded. And we'll have to see if Willie immediately brings in the Flygon, which he does.
And we do see it's a Dragon Tail. Yeah, which can deal out a lot of damage. And I mean, these Surfs are, they're neutral hits. You know, being a Dragon ground type, Flygon doesn't have to worry too much, but it is Glacier, so that Surf, he doesn't want to take multiples. Oh, and we do see this is actually a Stone Edge Flygon. My goodness.
Yeah, so, but understanding that it can take the Surf, it's going to be really hard for any fast move pressure to fast move down the Flygon, especially without having Water Gun. And so we're going to see this Dragon Claw coming through and securing the knockout. But will we see a shield? Nope, just deciding to let the Lantern done, assuming it's done all of its work. But we will probably see the Vigoroth come in and soak up some damage.
Exactly. I mean, the Flygon has energy, so, I mean, you either have a choice to try and shield the Vigoroth here, which we do see Matt does, and get some valuable farm energy.
Yeah, but there will be some fast move pressure on that from the Vigoroth, able to farm that down. We see another, do not disturb his friend here.
Yes, please remember. No one wants to see your notifications.
But Mandibuzz now coming in, Willie using the first shield on his side for the match, and shielding up Mandibuzz, understanding, but able to make it to another body slam from the Vigoroth. We'll be able
body
to
slam is real.
But using the second shield, so will we see an immediate a snipe down of the Vigoroth, and now with the extra bit of energy, will they be able to make it to the Dragon Claw? Barely making it there.
Oh my gosh!
And 1 HP making it to the Dragon Claw.
Oh my goodness gracious. Matt putting all of his faith in this dragon, knowing that it hits just the right break points to secure an early 3-0 for Italy. My goodness.
Wow, I'm definitely surprised on how interesting like that definitely shows the impact of IVs matter. I mean, obviously moveset should be a priority, but IVs, yeah, you definitely want to take a look at those.
Yeah, once you have your moveset solidified and you know exactly what the plan is, then IVs do become a little bit more important, as we saw here. Really, like I said, putting his faith in that Dragonite, knowing that it had, I guess, the superior bulk point to just be able to survive long enough to get that Dragon Claw off onto Willie's Mandibuzz in the end there. Gosh, this is the first matchup, you guys.
Well, we did say that they were talented battlers and definitely has, they have the skills and the knowledge to be able to do that. So we do have our next matchup, Heisenberg versus Emiliox?
Emiliox, I believe. I'm just gonna go with Emil.
Yeah, that.
Sorry,
I will go with that. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to just keep butchering things, so I'm gonna go with what I know I can do, just like that Dragonite in the last matchup. So we do see some similar team comps here, except kind of now we have it on the flip side of the screen. We have Double Dragon over on Heisenberg's side, along with that Mandibuzz, Lantern, Vigoroth, and Escavalier. And we do have, over on Emil's side, the Shadow Dragon returning, but also that Wormadam with Vigoroth, Lantern, Escavalier, and Mandibuzz. So we have some similar matchups potentially here. What do you see, Need for Speedy?
I mean, it's almost a straight up mirror team outside of the Flygon and the Wormadam. It's a mirror team. So
Exactly.
definitely wondering if that can be played to the strengths. I don't see really much use for Wormadam, so Heisenberg might be more positive with the Flygon in its roster, but also too potential move differences with how they end up going about different things. So could definitely see some more Flygon play as it looks pretty good against Emil's team.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of potential in that Double Dragon lineup that we saw just last game. But also we do see the return of Vigoroth on both sides, and we know how spammy Vigoroth can be. Even in a matchup where it's, you know, being dealt high damage, it can stack on those body slams like nobody's business.
Absolutely. So I think with this being mirror teams, we'll have to see how the trainers approach that in their first matchup.
Yeah, let's get right into it. So we do see Vigoroth from Emil against the Shadow Dragonite from Heisenberg. This is, I mean, Dragonite is dealing out high damage, but it's still having to deal with this spam in return.
Yes, but I mean that Dragon Claw is charging up quickly, and also the fast move pressure allows for a greater chance to farm down. Attempting to catch the Dragon Claw on the Mandibuzz, which was unsuccessful, but definitely Mandibuzz is able to take these Dragon Claws like a champ because it is definitely a thick bird.
Yeah, even against a Shadow Dragonite, Mandibuzz laughs. But we do see another Dragon Claw coming out, and we have seen Heisenberg already give up one shield to deal as much damage as it can with this dragon. And still, Emil not using those shields.
Yeah, understanding that Mandibuzz is able to take the Dragon Claw from the Shadow Dragonite, throwing an Aerial Ace, able to almost secure the knockout, and Heisenberg actually able to swap out barely with 1 HP in a Dream, potentially using that as an additional shield later on to catch a charge move.
Exactly. If someone swaps out of a 1 HP Mon, you definitely know that they want that sack swap potential in the end. We do see the Flygon come out to snipe down that Mandibuzz, and now taking out its wrath on this Vigoroth, but it will have to take a body slam along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing the Flygon down into the red, and the Shadow Dragonite is going to get a nice farm right before taking a Dragon Tail, and we see the Escavalier coming in. But this Shadow Dragonite has 2 shields, and despite being resisted damage on both sides, definitely dealing some nice fast move pressure from both opposing Mons.
Exactly. I almost see Heisenberg with this Escavalier almost trying to go for a farm down instead of using any charge moves, since Emil's Dragonite does have both those shields. Yeah, now Escavalier is out of its own shields. Will have to take this Dragon Claw. Oof, does not like it.
Able to secure the knockout, but with the 2 shields remaining on the Shadow Dragonite, the Shadow Dragonite on Emil's side is able to farm down the last remaining 2 Mons with just pure Dragon Breath damage.
Exactly. Those Shadow Dragons, they do not mess around. And Emil definitely knew that if it could give those shields just to that Dragonite, that it can do a lot with just sheer fast move pressure.
Absolutely. I think that was a very interesting play on understanding, even though it was definitely taking some decent damage from the resisted counters on the Escavalier, but...
Exactly. And now we see, oh my god. One of the worst matchups after Umbreon mirrors is a Mandibuzz mirror. And we do see both of these Mandibuzz having Air Slash, and obviously going to be just going for some aerial aces as much as possible. Both are over farming as much as possible as well.
But we
getting
do
ready
see
for
that
the long haul.
Yeah, Emil's Mandibuzz does win CMP or charge move priority against the opposing Mandibuzz, so that could come into effect later on. And definitely gaining that information now, especially compared to where it could be more important in the later matches, is important.
Yeah, I mean, learning that early on definitely gives you an advantage in later matchups with this same Mon.
Yeah, and they're both throwing their charge moves with beautiful timing, trying to make sure that their opponent does not get any fast moves, extra fast moves through. But like I said, definitely winning that CMP event is important.
Yeah, in a mirror matchup, it's arguably the most important thing is to get your timing right and to understand who has that CMP advantage.
Yeah, and we also do see a health differential too. So this is also coming up with something for the IVs. Emil attempting to swap out on that charge move, as it didn't seem like it was fully charge move priority event. But now immediately swapping into Vigoroth, trying to snipe down the Mandibuzz before it can get to another move, and is
And
able to
just
get some nice farm for a potential body slam up against the last two Mon.
yeah, as soon as a Vigoroth comes in to get that little bit of snipe extra farm, we know what is immediately going to happen. All of the body slams, every single one.
But we do see Heisenberg realizing that this is just the body slam. This is not the big move of Bulldoze, and is now throwing a surf of its own to try to take some damage on the Vigoroth. And Emil deciding to use their first shield in this matchup.
Protecting all of that energy that it got from coming in early and getting a little extra farm. We'll let this surf through. And it doesn't do too much. So, and we do see that, I mean, they have two body slams in the pocket already, so they can easily either force shields or get this lantern out of the way. But we see a similar tactic with Flygon coming in to get some potential farm down. But coming in a little early means that it's going to have to shield this body slam.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see there is a second body slam, but immediately swap out into Dragonite, trying to apply the fast move pressure on Flygon before it can make it.
The Dragon Breath just eating that Flygon away, but Flygon will be able to throw a Dragon Claw and force shield from this Shadow Dragonite.
Yeah, absolutely, but I do not think it will be able to make it to another Dragon Claw. There is a Dragon Claw stored on the Dragonite, so immediately bringing it in, throwing the move, even though potentially could just farm down. And I think Heisenberg realizes that their back is up against the wall and just eats the Dragon Claw, as there's still another move on the Vigoroth, and politely just not shielding to save a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, good gracious. The power of that Dragonite is in the back is just it seems to be inescapable for Heisenberg over here. So what do you think they can do to adjust for this last match?
Oh no, I definitely think you have to bring in some Lantern, even though definitely the fast move pressure and the charge move pressure from a Shadow Dragonite on the Lantern. But we do see a Mandibuzz up against the Dragonite, so potentially maybe just trying to outbulk the Dragonite, even though these Dragon Breaths are doing some major damage on this Mandibuzz.
Good gracious. Mandibuzz builds up a lot of extra energy, going to try and get as many shields as it can early from this dragon. And I mean, a Shadow Dragonite is pretty glassy, and so it does have to give up an early shield, but now has two Dragon Claws ready for this Mandibuzz.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think also trying to potentially get some extra farm. Maybe try to go for a farm down, but then they would have to waste both shields. Mandibuzz making it to the final move and catching the foul play on the opposing Mandibuzz.
Wow, what a great play. Knowing that this Mandibuzz was going to be able to throw its energy. And we do see an immediate swap into Flygon, trying to avoid getting farmed down there by the opposing Mandibuzz.
Yeah, but we do see that Heisenberg is trying to build up to the Stone Edge. Will they decide to shield? They do decide to use their first shield up against this Mandibuzz, potentially trying to go for that Stone Edge to take it down.
Exactly. I mean, we haven't seen Stone Edge revealed, so, you know, here, and we do see the Mandibuzz choosing not to shield. This is enough to take out that bulky bird, as thick as it is.
But we do see the Vigoroth coming in, trying to get some extra fast move pressure onto this Flygon, deciding not to take the Dragon Claw from the Flygon as well, and able to probably build up some extra energy because of that. Will they throw the Dragon Claw? They do throw the Dragon Claw, not able to secure the complete farm down, but this will not secure the knockout on the Vigoroth. So choosing
No,
to value energy rather than health.
Yeah, and I mean, Emil gave up that, his last shield there, or their last shield there, just to protect this Vigoroth, knowing that the potential spam could be really helpful in this in-game. But we do see that Shadow Dragonite coming out from Heisenberg, taking, oh my gosh, one body slam takes about half of the Dragonite's health.
But we do see the final shield of the match come up. But will there be an insta swap throw in, able to get the Dragon Claw off right before the fast move pressure from the opposing Shadow Dragonite?
Oh
And before they can
gosh.
swap into the opposing Mandibuzz to potentially catch that move. So I'm assuming we're going to see a nice farm down on the Mandibuzz, securing the final victory for Emil for a 3-0, bringing it back for Chile.
Incredible. We had like the perfect balance of like those first 3 matches versus these 3 matches. The knowledge of the Shadow Dragonite power is just, that's really incredible. Because I look at that mon and I'm just like, that is a glass box and I don't want to deal with it. But they see a powerhouse in the background, and knowing when you have to either spend shields early or save shields for that Dragonite in the back becomes integral in these matches. Incredible.
Absolutely. So I definitely wonder. I mean, this is why it's the loser final. You know, you got to try everything humanly possible because you do not want to be knocked out in a double elimination. This is you go on or you go home. So
exactly, and both of these teams are playing like they know that with every single matchup. It's just incredible. All those catches too that we saw with the Mandibuzz catching that Dark Pulse becomes very, very important when you're dealing with both bulk and with those glass powerhouses like the Dragonite.
yeah, I think honestly that's kind of why we see a lot of Mandibuzz or Umbreon with the Shadow Dragonite. We do see 2 more additional Shadow Dragonites on Bomber and Willy's side. So
Exactly. And on Bomber's side, I do see that Sableye, little gremlin coming out to play, can deal a lot of neutral damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very, very interesting to see how if the double dragon stat will come back into play. I mean, it definitely does have some play, but Umbreon is definitely going to be pretty bulky along with Lantern. So maybe have to definitely be careful on that side.
Yeah, Double Dragon is a definite strat we've already seen, but when I see a Sableye, I immediately see the safe swap potential, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of the play so far has focused on using Vigoroth as that safe swap, or that snipe to get early energy, but Sableye plays a pretty similar role, and I see it having a lot of potential with that Vigoroth from Bomber to come in and get those snipes, get that early energy advantage for some real spam later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the only thing you really need to watch out on that Sableye is the opposing Mandibuzz, because definitely Sableye is spammy, does apply fast move pressure, and is like a decently bulky Pokemon in general. So I don't really think there's much on Willy's side.
Yeah, the return doesn't even, the return on Sableye doesn't even do like half of Mandibuzz's health, so it is a concern. But especially since we've seen Mandibuzz used so effectively with Double Dragon as the bulky backup for those 2 Glacier Mons. I'm really excited to see, though, if we do get some play from the Double Dark on Bomber's side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to have to see. We do see an Umbreon into Vigoroth, a positive lead for Willy, an immediate swap into Shadow Dragonite. So understanding that, yes, you might lose lead, but Shadow Dragonite's fast move pressure is definitely taking a toll on this opposing Vigoroth.
Can make the matchup immediately more dominant on your side. And we see the Shadow Dragonite coming out from the opposing side. So Dragon Claws are going to start flying, forcing an early shield from Willy.
Yes, but Willy will be able to get this farm down, be almost at a Dragon Claw, potentially even getting the shield back. But I'm assuming probably Bomber just brings in the Umbreon to soak up the damage, because Umbreon is definitely a thicker victory.
That is exactly what Umbreon is here to do. But with a Scavalier in the back versus the Mandibuzz and the Vigoroth on Willie's side, oh, I don't like the look of that backline for Bomber.
Letting the superpower go, and it does definitely do a chunk. If that was just a Dragon Claw, able to actually make it to the Dragon Claw before the Umbreon has a chance to throw, was attempting to probably go for a farm down, but it's like, do you really want to shield it after letting that big damage go through? Umbreon living at 1 HP in a dream, and definitely leaving with move, but getting some extra farm on the Escavalier.
A great play on Bomber's side to save that 1 HP full of energy Umbreon for a potential sack swap or a nice little moveset later on in the game. This Escavalier has a lot of work to do, though, in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not appreciating these air slashes from the Mandibuzz. Definitely going for the Mega Horn, unshielded, and definitely does a good chunk on the Mandibuzz, but now it's just going to be a fast move pressure on the side of the Escavalier for a chance to knock out the Mandibuzz.
Yeah.
But
and with the energy
to deal with the Vigoroth.
Yeah, and with the energy advantage that Mandibuzz has, it doesn't, it doesn't have a ton to fear from this Escav. Yeah, we do
absolutely.
See the drill run coming through. Vigoroth giving up their last shield to protect the spamminess.
Yeah. That body slam, even though it was resistant, understanding there is nothing you can really do in that moment as you did not have 2 foul plays. And the Umbreon gets knocked out, and Willie takes another victory, or a victory for Chile.
Oh, exactly. Wow. What a great knowledge of the swaps and fast move pressure again from the Mons over on Willie's side.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if we're going to see that Sableye potential safe swap bringing out the Vandabuzz, but we do see a Dragonite lead.
Dragonoff, both having Dragon Breath. Let's see what the difference is in the matchup here. And we see that Willie Gen's Dragon overpowers again, just slightly getting a higher bulk point than Bomber's Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see that Escavalier coming in, unable to make it to the superpower on the Dragonite. So being able to throw a Dragon Ball, will we see a shield? We do see a shield potentially for that potential superpower from that Shadow Dragonite, as that would definitely hurt the Escavalier.
Exactly. But now Escavalier has to deal with this Mandibuzz, which, they're both dealing fairly neutral damage to one another. Escavalier going to throw the Mega Horn, almost certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do see the shield from the Mandibuzz.
But able to now finally start throwing some foul plays, throwing the energy that they farmed up onto the opposing Vigoroth. Definitely doing some chips, some nice damage, and then bringing it in there to try to outpace potentially with countering down, as you're not going to be able to win in the body slam spam off, but can try.
No, the opposing Vigoroth here on Bomber's side definitely has quite a bit of energy advantage, but Willie just going immediately, not even trying to farm, just going for starting the spam train.
But that body slam is able to secure the knockout. So bringing back in the Escavalier, getting some extra farm, but not before Willie's Vigoroth is able to make it to a body slam. It's
never before the body slam. Never can you get anything before a body slam comes from Vigoroth. And we do see the shield from Bomber's Escav trying to protect what little health it has left. But there is absolutely too much health on this Mandibuzz. Even without shielding here can take one. And it even calls the drill run bait. Painful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was kind of just a nice secure moment, realizing that the only win con is calling the bait here and calling it correctly, and the Mandibuzz able to throw the foul play and secure the knockout and victory for Willie.
Incredible. Even in the end there, with the amount of health that Mandibuzz has, they would have to land 2 Mega Horns, which they could not feasibly get to before that Mandibuzz is able to get to 2 foul plays on its side. I mean, it was a good thought to throw up that last shield to protect the Escavalier, but there was just not enough time for it to get to the moves it needed to get to.
Absolutely. So I wonder if we're going to see Bomber realize and bring in the Sableye, but not bringing in the Sableye, still having Vigoroth on Shadow Dragonite, an immediate swap into a safe swap Lantern. Definitely probably pretty good here, as this is not that bad of a neutral matchup, especially if you can secure landing the Bulldoze.
Exactly. We do see Lantern from Willie going for the shield, the early shield, but will not get that from the Vigoroth. Vigoroth feeling pretty comfy in this matchup.
Yeah, and the Vigoroth actually being able to get a shield for the Body Slam and then immediately bringing in this Shadow Dragonite. So we do see the Thunderbolt. This Dragonite is not going to appreciate taking it. Will it receive a shield? It does receive a shield on Bomber's side. And now it's just going to be a race to see who can knock out the opposing Pokemon first. Definitely overcoming a little bit, understanding that they're not at it and that they're able to win CMP.
Exactly, so, that Dragonite and its attack stat, we're definitely going to be able to win over the Lantern. So throws the Dragon Claw here and gets another shield, the last shield from the Lantern here to be able to throw this Thunderbolt. And Bomber really wants to protect this Dragonite, throws up that last shield, and here we see the Dragonite.
Well, I think this Dragonite, the shield correct on the Thunderbolt, being able to secure the knockout on this opposing Shadow Dragonite, almost taking out the Lantern in its entirety, and we see an Escavalier in the back for this opposing Vigoroth with no shields.
Exactly. Bomber has been really dependent on the Escav in the back to win this last matchup. And again, this is pretty neutral damage. You know, it's not stab counter from the Escavalier, and the counters are also neutral from Vigoroth. So it can land this with no shields in play, though. It lands that Mega Horn, takes that Vigoroth out of the running, and might even be able to farm down. No, the Lantern just barely gets to a Surf. I think this is enough.
Yeah, but if it does not secure that knockout, the counter does go through, and the Lantern is fainted, and final victory to
Bomber. Yeah, finally he got that Escav in the right position in the back to win with that 1 HP in a dream moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very interesting to see how the adjustment finally in the third game being like, okay, we need to attempt to do that. And I also think that power on the Shadow Dragonite was very, very impressive, realizing that it's like, I can't really shield here. It's not going to be worth it, and just letting it go.
Exactly. Just really seeing those first 2 matchups and how they went, and understanding that the Dragonite powerhouse really had to, in the mid game, has a lot of potential to sweep out opponents out of the way so that Escavalier can come there in the back and get some very valuable farm.
Absolutely. So I definitely think we're ready for our next set of trainers.
And those matches made it still a very close matchup between Italy and Chile. 4 points on Italy's side, Chile with 5, just barely squeaking out those previous 2 victories.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see Raising Taz and Nemi, and definitely 2 very well-known battlers in the community. We do see a Sableye on both sides, but now we also see the addition of Munchlax joining the party.
Oh, what a little cutie. But what can it do here? I don't see a whole lot of potential. It has a lot to fear from the Vigoroth, and it's not going to be doing a lot of super effective damage against the Darks over there. I mean, it has its own body slam potential. Plus the licks are not liked by those dragons, even though they're neutral damage. So, I mean, Munchlax has a little bit of bulk, so maybe it has some play as a safe swap.
Yeah, and it does also have the new buff to tackle as a fast move, so potentially applying more fast move pressure to the Darks, and just overall in this meta, rather than potentially having licks for getting caught up against a normal type and then, you know, having not super effective damage with them. So definitely waiting and hopefully seeing some Munchlax play.
I am a fan of the Munch.
Absolutely.
But we see another potential for a double dragon backline over on Raging Taz's side, and we've also seen how powerful that can be. It's also interesting to note that these two dragons don't seem to be shadow dragons, as we've previously seen on teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can
Still
kind of expect
glassy,
potentially,
but maybe
yeah,
not
still
as glassy.
glassy, but also potentially expecting better IV. So definitely a little bit more bulk there compared to where you have to wait to get frustration off, do all this different stuff. So
Ugh, the true struggle that all the PvPers know.
absolutely. So I think we're ready to hop into our first set of matches to see what these trainers think. And we see a lantern into Manda's very
A
favorable
matchup
for
that
Memi.
Mamaclimbs does not want to see, and we see an immediate mirror match between these two shiny, sparkly fish. Not shiny, but
going
you know, sparkfish. Sparkfish.
going for the Thunderbolt before switching out. Potentially maybe gonna catch move or just staying in this matchup. Definitely looks like just staying in this matchup, deciding not to shield, match shield, save the shield for everything, but does end up taking a Thunderbolt.
Exactly,
Immediately
and we
swapping
see
to
the
Lantern.
Sableye coming out from Memi's side, which is, I mean, we saw that there's an opposing Mandibuzz, so we definitely, you know, want to get this Sableye into a matchup where it can deal pretty effective damage quickly and not be threatened by that Mandibuzz. Also worth noting that I just noticed this is a purified Sableye, but it has a power gem and not return, so that Mandibuzz is not above being threatened.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wonder if this is a strategic thing to try to psych out the opponent that, oh no, I have return.
I have return. Your Mandibuzz is totally safe to come in, and we do see that Mandibuzz come back from Raging Taz, now going to be threatened with this power gem. Will we see the shield?
I don't think we expect to see the shield. As it's kind of
I
like,
would.
is that really a return? But
Oh,
there
but
is
we
actually a
do!
shield.
Wow, Raging Taz calls that power gem move that Sableye has and does give up that early shield.
But we
And
do
now
see
Dragonite.
the immediate swap. Yeah, the immediate swap into Dragonite. Definitely not as glassy. And also, this is a Snarl Mandibuzz, but we've only seen Air Slash so far. So definitely.
Man,
have
we
to
are
make
just
note of
getting
that.
flipped all the way around with some of these matchups this time.
Yeah, absolutely. But this Dragonite is still applying some very nice fast move pressure, and now applying charge move pressure with the Dragon Claw.
Exactly, and I don't think we'd see another shield given on the Mandibuzz because without the shadow threat, this Mandibuzz can take these Dragon Claws just a little bit easier.
Yeah, but we do see Memi is trying to save the Dragonite, trying to save its health, able to overfarm with its Dragon Breath, and able to throw, I believe, on a charge move priority event with the Mandibuzz. And
I do believe
what
that
was the final
they
score?
understood that their attack stat would almost guarantee they win that CMP tie, and the Mandibuzz does give up a shield, but doesn't throw immediately, gets another Snarl in for some extra energy. But without being
Absolutely.
Shadow, I think this Dragonite can potentially... Oh, it's a Dark Pulse!
Oh, and able to snipe down the Dragonite with the Flygon with Dragon Tail, and definitely putting Memi in a very rough position here.
Yeah, I mean, this Flygon against the Lantern, especially not being the Shadow Flygon, is going to be able to comfortably take these Surfs.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's a little less than comfortable potentially catching Flygon and able to try to go for the catch, but taking the fast move, but actually still getting a move off the Flygon.
I do believe they might be up to double claws now, and that's what we're going to see come out against the Lantern. Yes, exactly. Right before this Lantern gets to its next surf, the dragon proves itself worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely a rough position there. I think it was very interesting on that snipe on the Flygon. That was pretty rough.
That was a great call from Raging Taz to know exactly that they could come in and get that just little bit of extra energy. And with that, it does bring us to an even score between Italy and Chile. And we have 2 more matches from these two. And I've got to say, I've been really surprised by seeing all these new movesets when we've seen all these Mons pretty much before on teams. But we see how those different moves can really flip these matchups.
Yeah, but we do see the Munchlax in the basket, double normal strat. Definitely gonna be able to take some damage from this Mandibuzz. It is bulky, but it is known for its bulk, not its attack.
Exactly.
But this is
But with
a Dark Pulse, not a foul play Mandibuzz.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, normally you don't fear a lot from the attack of Amanda Buzz because, foul play and aerial ace are just not that strong. But going for that bigger move of Dark Pulse allows it to really threaten with a lot more damage.
Yeah, absolutely. But this Vigoroth is also able to threaten with Body Slam spam,
The
trying to
spam that
get
we
this
are so
Mandibuzz.
familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get the Mandibuzz, but actually does decide to give Vigoroth the shield to potentially make it to another Body Slam, farm a little bit extra, and secure the knockout.
and
But
we do
attempt to catch up
see
Vigoroth.
we do see a swap so that the opposing Vigoroth on full health gets to take this body slam.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
see the Dragonite coming out to just basically, I think they're going to really try for a hard farm down here to try and get some early energy on this dragon. Going to take this first body slam, and it still does so much against that glassy dragon, my goodness.
Yeah, but there is a shield disadvantage, so do have to kind of keep that in mind. Don't want to accidentally throw away all of your health and then get fast move pressure down. So throwing this Dragon Claw, actually making the shields the same, but now debating, do I want to shield here or do I want to save it for
We're
something
seeing,
else in the back?
yeah, forcing Memi to decide how much they really want to protect this dragon, and apparently a lot. Gets that last shield. Dragon has almost a Dragon Claw, but will have to take a move from the Mandibuzz.
Yeah, absolutely. But now I'm assuming we're going to see this Vigoroth come in, get some extra farm, but then we see the Flygon coming in, potentially starting to charge up to some different charge moves and also applying the fast move pressure along with it.
And it certainly, and the Munchlax comes out, and we do see that it has that brand new tackle buff move.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Flygon already has a ton of energy.
Yeah, but only going for the Dragon Claw here. It does provide the same type of attack bonus, but definitely trying to overfarm a little bit, understanding that potentially you're going to have to throw a move at that Mandibuzz, not being able to tackle down. Will this Body Slam secure the knockout on the Flygon? And it is not able to.
Just barely, not enough.
To move.
Oof. I mean, Munchlax is thick. It will be able to, I think, survive just barely. Yeah, in the red, but able to potentially tackle down, and maybe, just maybe, it gets to a body slam in time to take out the Mandibuzz.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So now seeing the value of the Munchlax, maybe we'll see it faring 3. Able to secure the knockout on the Mandibuzz with that nice tackle. So maybe we'll see Taz adapt and be like, okay, no, I don't need to be afraid of the Munchlax with Lick and potentially try to carry with Sableye.
Exactly. Revealing that it does have the tackle over the Lick makes Sableye seem much safer, especially since there's no Mandibuzz on Memi's side to really threaten it as much as we've seen in previous games.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see how Taz and Memi end up facing off each other and Vigoroth into a Mandibuzz matchup.
Yeah, exactly. Again, as we've said, it's more neutral matchup usually, but we know now that this Mandibuzz has Dark Pulse and is not afraid to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do also see that Wormadam in the back. I wonder what Memi is trying to aim for.
Interesting choice.
Maybe up against the Dragonite or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe seeing potential in its ability to withstand those dragon-based moves since it does resist them thanks to its metal typing.
Yes, but we do see an early shield on Memi's side protecting the Vigoroth from the fast move, or charge move of the Mandibuzz, but able to throw these body slam spams out on the Mandibuzz pretty quickly and able to take it down into the red.
Still will have to take a Dark Pulse from the Mandibuzz, but then we see a swap into the dragon, potentially trying to snipe down this Vigoroth, but we all know that that's never going to work because Vigoroth always has energy for body slams.
But instead of a swap into the Wormadam that we were thinking, maybe trying to catch this Dragonite. Actually, a swap into their own Dragonite, so very questionable on that
Yeah,
part.
that's a
Deciding,
very interesting choice since you know that you're going to have to take that dragon damage as opposed to resisting it and giving up a shield to protect this dragon along the way.
but we do understand. I mean, it is a glassy Pokemon, but Dragonite is able to throw a whole bunch, and definitely gonna throw this Dragon Claw that will be able to secure the knockout on the Mandibuzz, despite not being Shadow, if it does not get a shield.
Nope, Mandibuzz is out of the picture, which is great for Wormadam, and not the dragon from Memi's side, just barely not able to get to that Dragon Claw. So Raging Taz still has a shield, but Vigoroth has a lot of work to do against the opposing Vigoroth and this Wormadam in the back. I mean, Wormadam's pretty thick. It doesn't love the counters, but it doesn't exactly hate them either.
Yeah, absolutely. Letting the Vigoroth go, trying to take up some of the energy, and it is a Bug Bite Wormadam instead of Confusion, so definitely pretty interesting there. Just probably trying to go for a Bug Bite down to this point.
Yeah, I mean, the body slams and the bulldozes are not really going to threaten this Wormadam, and we do see the bulldoze come out from the opposing Vigoroth, but Wormadam has a long way to go before it can even get to enough energy to potentially get this Vigoroth out of the way for it.
But we do see the Iron Head coming through, trying to quickly get to the next Iron Head before the Vigoroth is able to make it to a move. Able to make it to the Iron Head before the Vigoroth can make it to a final move to potentially knock out the Wormadam and giving the victory to Memi. Very interesting to see how that Wormadam was able to have some sort of play. I definitely did not see that first originally when I looked at Taz's team. I was like, oh, they're never going to bring Wormadam. But
yeah, I know.
Very well.
Yeah, no, they definitely, by bringing out the Munchlax in that middle matchup, you know, making Raging Taz, I think, feel more reliant on the Vigoroth to get that Munch out of the way, and then clearing the way for Wormadam to come in. I mean, Bug Bite does a surprising amount of fast move damage. It puts a lot of pressure into what would be considered a neutral matchup. So it was really interesting to see how instead of, like, using the neutral Wormadam against the Dragonite, it saved that for the back.
Yeah, absolutely. But now we look at our scores. Chile 7, Italy 5. So
Chile really putting in the work to bring those points up. Really, it's like, nope, I lost once. We're not gonna lose again.
Yeah. So we have Bomber back on the bench and Yurokski.
You're Koski? Yeah. Sorry. I mean, we're doing our best, you guys.
Pronunciation check, please.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So we see Yurkowski does have that double dragon strat that we have seen before, but still also has a Wormadam in the back, has the very familiar Lantern, Vigoroth, and Mandibuzz as well.
Yeah, definitely trying to provide some bulk for that additional double dragon stat. We do see that Sableye though, which I definitely will, I believe, have a good play up against Yoski's team. Except for
as we've seen, if you can get that Mandibuzz out of the way early on, then Sableye I think has a lot of potential to come in later on and deal a lot of neutral damage and spam.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see the Gremlin.
Yes, let's see if we do see the Sableye game 1, or maybe potentially trying to save it for a later match. So we do see a Lantern into a Lantern mirror. I'm assuming both of you are running.
Fish on fish violence.
But we do see this is probably where Yuroski definitely wants to see this, because you know Dragonite is not appreciative of any sort of Thunderbolts, and you know potentially what Wormadam is running might not be able to farm down.
Neutral damage doesn't really seem like it when you're dealing with such a glassy dragon as Dragonite. So we do see these Lanterns both going for Thunderbolts, just not even trying to bait, just going right for it. But we see the swap into the Gremlin!
Yeah, we definitely do see that Sableye coming in, and it is purified, but maybe we might see another switch and tag where You know, it is a power gem instead of what we
I
thought
mean,
it is,
your
and it is
Koski
some
did not.
bug bite
Your
Wormadam.
Koski did not bring the Mandibuzz, so Wormadam is the best threat against the Sableye that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, these Shadow Claws and Fall Plays are going to be adding up. Able to potentially go for a farm down here at the cost of a shield. Actually, no shielding the
Not gonna
Wormadam.
shield. I mean, Wormadam, the steel typing does give it a little bit of an edge here, can just barely survive, and farms all the way down. The gremlin, my poor gremlin.
Yeah, but definitely going to be taking some sort of move on whatever is brought up from Bomber's side. Able to take a Bug Buzz on this Lantern. Will we see potentially the first shield of the match?
I mean, I feel like if they want to protect the Lantern and any energy they have on it, they have to shield here, but they don't. Oh, and the Dragonite comes in and gets the snipe down.
I was honestly thinking we were seeing a Dragonite with Dragon Tail finally, but I was incorrect. And the normal Dragonite able to outbulk the Shadow Dragonite.
Exactly. Here we know that it's not just about. Here we know that it's not just about IVs. Like you said, the shadow versus non-shadow. That extra bulk that the non-shadow offers becomes immediately very much more important.
Yeah, I do not know
to
though.
get to a move.
Yeah, we do see shadow on both sides, so I do not know if that is a production or if that was team input error. Because but leaving 2 shields for the Lantern as a fast move down, able to be able to fast move down on Bomber's side, and Hiroski going down with 2 shields.
Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, when you're dealing with such powerhouse moves as we saw here and not the kind of slow burn that Umbreon or Mandibuzz offers, then yeah, going down with 2 shields can happen easier than you think it can.
Absolutely. And definitely with the amount of fast move pressure that there can be is pretty rough.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, those dragons definitely put on the fast move pressure. And here we see an interesting matchup with this Bug Bite Wormadam against the regular Dragonite.
Yeah, we do see not super effective, but definitely being able to chunk on both sides. We are getting a report in chat that Yoski did not play against Bomber. It's against Raging Taz.
So we have a little bit of error on the other side there. So unfortunate for us because we're not as familiar immediately with the matchup. I know we just saw this team in a previous matchup, but we do see Wormadam resisting that damage from Dragonite very nicely, and now swaps on both sides. So your Koski has their Shadow Dragon up against the Vigoroth.
Yeah, but we did see that Wormadam did take a superpower, which it definitely did not enjoy. But this Vigoroth is now potentially at risk for taking a superpower from this Dragonite, which is gonna cause it to be debuffed. But
yeah, definitely, it's gonna debuff the Dragonite. But getting that Vigoroth out of the way is gonna be, I think, very key for later, especially since we do see Mandibuzz in the back for. Raging Taz now on the side of the screen there, so we can accurately see these matchups. Will have to take a Dragon Claw, but doesn't quite fear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with it also being debuffed, potentially trying to go for a farm down on the Mandibuzz side, but not before the Shadow Dragonite is able to make it to another move and definitely deal some decent damage. Immediately coming back in the Wormadam, trying to potentially farm down, but the Mandibuzz is able to make it to a charge move, trying to knock out the Wormadam before it can make it to a charge move.
I honestly think this might have been just an attempt to catch so that it did not have to shield the dragon. Yeah, and now absolutely. Lantern can come and get in some very valuable farm.
But this is a Snarl Mandibuzz, which is definitely going to apply fast move pressure compared to its counterpart of Air Slash Mandibuzz. And I think this is a double dark Mandibuzz. I think it has Dark Pulse and Foul Play rather than any sort of flying move.
You never know which dark move you'll get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just use the randomizer button. So now we see the non-Shadow Dragonite from Raging Taz coming in, trying to get this Lantern out of the way as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but we see desperately trying to go for the Shadow Dragonite, applying fast move pressure, unable to secure the knockout on the normal Dragonite, and actually giving farm so that the Dragonite's able to make it to a charge move.
Exactly. And since Dragonite resists the, in the fast move pressure from Lantern, oh, but just Lantern just barely able to take it down, has that surf ready, and I guess that's the end of the video. I thought there was another. Yeah, okay. Yurkowski wins that matchup because I believe that they had enough energy on the Lantern to get to a surf against that Vigoroth that was still remaining in the back. Or was it the Mandibuzz? Oh my god, I just watched it, but it happened so fast.
It all happened so fast, all the moves, as we also had moving parts. But we also do see a Wormadam into Mandibuzz for this next matchup. Definitely going to be interesting as, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is an all dark Mandibuzz.
If it is, then this Wormadam has a lot less to fear than you might think. And the Mandibuzz is, in fact, taking neutral damage from all these bug bites. And as we've seen, the bug buzz landing on the Mandibuzz does quite a bit of damage. And we see a bit of over farm on this Wormadam, potentially going for both the Iron Head and the Bug Buzz back to back.
Yeah, but
you're right.
Trying to swap it to Dragonite to see if there is a nice farm that it can get on it, but not before the Mandibuzz decides to throw its next charge move. Definitely shielding, attempting to try to not take a nice Dark Pulse, but instead it was the foul play. But the Mandibuzz can take the Dragon Claw.
Yeah, the Mandibuzz doesn't, I mean, its sheer bulk allows it to not be super afraid of even a Shadow Dragonite. Can even take that last, but will be farmed down.
At the cost of a shield, though, so the Shadow Dragonite is at a shield disadvantage. And we do see this Vigoroth coming in, doing some nice fast move pressure with the counters, but this Shadow Dragonite is going to apply some charge move pressures with this first Dragon Claw. Will we see a shield on it?
I imagine we have to. It doesn't want to get super powered.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see this Body Slam coming off. It will be pretty close to securing the knockout, and so it decides to use the shield there, if not securing the knockout. Potentially not going for super power. Nope. Still trying to throw Dragon Claws and fast moves
still gonna
down.
go for that Dragon Claw bait, try and get the last shield out of the way, but doesn't get it. Able to knock out the that Vigoroth, and Wormadam coming in here trying to deal as much damage as it can to this Flygon. But there are no shields left from Yurkowski.
Yeah, absolutely. But trying to get a nice farm. Trying to farm up, but able to throw right before the Bug Buzz is able to be thrown from the Wormadam. Good counting, good timing on that, making sure, understanding how much energy that Wormadam truly did have. And it is now this Flygon against the world with this Lancer and Dragonite.
But there are no shields in play, and I mean, I think we've seen, I don't know if we've seen a full move reveal from this particular Flygon. Does have just the Dragon Claw there. And multiple surfs are going to be coming from this Lantern now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that does show that our opponent does not have the ground type of Earth Power. And this Lantern is able to make it to the final surf to secure the knockout on this Flygon. So definitely going to be pretty rough with that. Still even that Dragon in the back that could potentially apply some fast move pressure too if need be.
Exactly. Chile securing one more point, making this a much less even out matchup between Italy and Chile.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see if Taz is able to try to secure 1 point for his team, or if there will be a continual issue to.
That was three. Yeah.
We're at 15
oh my
total,
gosh.
so I don't know if we're miscounting. I know there's been
Listen,
some
we can't do math and talk about move counts and
oh yes, because that is 5. Yes,
so
I can't do
math.
I'm like sitting here like 4 times 4 is there you go. That's right
math
now.
Is hard. Math is hard, kids.
But we
so
do
now
actually see a different dragon now entering the field.
Dragonair, which also recently got a very nice move buff in having Body Slam added to its roster. So we see multiple dragon potential from Espelto, but we also see multiple Body Slam spam coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. We do know how powerful Vigoroth is in this meta, but we do see Sableyes on both sides. So potentially
The
trying to
gremlin.
not get Vigoroth matched up against the Sableye is going to be an important workaround and wiggle room and trying to play everything else so that that doesn't end up happening because
Yeah,
you're going to have to resort your own bulldozers.
I can definitely see the Sableye from Memi's side having a lot of potential if, again, it can make sure that we get that Mandibuzz out of the way. But as we've seen, I believe that we've seen a lot of Sableyes running that Power Gem, so it has an additional threat for the Mandibuzz even.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have to see how Espritos. We're gonna call it AS because English is a great thing, and
Yeah,
many
we're very sorry. We don't want to make it worse. And we do see the Sableye coming out from AS's side onto this Wormadam.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see that Sableye was used as a safe swap rather than the lead. But taking that damage on the Wormadam and able to switch into the Dragonite, applying fast move pressure, as we do also see that both these Dragonites are not shadows, so they're able to take moves a little bit better, but not dish out as much damage.
But this Sableye has a lot of energy, and it's going to throw a first foul play, and I believe that it will be able to throw another soon if this Dragonite does not start throwing some of its moves.
Yeah, but we do see that the Dragonite does decide to not go for the full farm down, but the Sableye deciding to go for the shield and protects its energy. But will we see another shield on the Dragonite? And we do. So a nice farm down, gonna be able to come out of this matchup with potentially a full move loaded. Yes, a full Dragon Claw
has
loaded.
the Dragon Claw, but had to give up both shields along the way. So Mandibuzz is gonna come out and will have to face a superpower, which is neutral, but is still going to do quite a bit to this big bird. Oh, but we see the last shield come up from AS.
Yes, we do, but we also do see that there is a Sableye in the back. So even though returns and power gems do hurt, it's not going to appreciate being matched up against this Mandibuzz. But the defense has fallen on the Mandibuzz with that Bug Buzz.
Oh, nice little debuff chance that move has. And the foul play is not doing enough to knock out this Wormadam, so will potentially be farmed down by the Vigoroth.
Yeah, absolutely. So this Vigoroth is going to have a whole bunch of energy. Potentially a catch of a Bulldoze on the Dragonite would be very clean and safe to say. And we also do see the trick again of Purified Sableye has Power Gem, able to TM away that return as there's something different, but unable to catch the Bulldoze on the Dragonite as the switch timer was not up. So trying to get as much farm to face this Mandibuzz as humanly possible.
Yeah, because I mean, Bulldoze is the only recourse for Vigoroth in this situation, and so Memi Sableye is able to farm up quite a bit of energy, going to be able to not quite able to get to the next foul play. And is this another Bulldoze to get Sableye out of the way? No, just a Body Slam, which is definitely not enough to knock out that Sableye, and leaves with some energy. Oh, but the
Dragonite is unable to make it to the superpower to try to secure the knockout on the Mandibuzz. And so the Mandibuzz is able to knock out the Dragonite instead. But we do see a desperate attempt to try to
the Sableye trying to overfarm a little bit, but just able to get to this Power Gem, which I believe is probably going to be enough to knock out this Mandibuzz. Definitely.
It is, but is unable at the foul play, and this Vigoroth is going to get calm down the Sableye, securing the win for AS. I think, yes. I feel like I mix this up so much more when we don't have both screens. I'm like,
I know, me too. I do believe that it was Memi that won. No, Espelto.
Yes, it was AS that was able to.
Espresso. So So yeah, we see there the Sableye really trying to get that over farm in so it has enough energy to win that end game, but just not barely not able to pull it off. And immediately we get the double dragon, dragon on dragon violence, and the CMP goes to AS's dragon there. We
Yeah,
see the
so
shield come up from Memi.
yeah, maybe trying to secure switch. Understanding, yes, there are better matchups, and Dragonite can't really be farmed down by much. I say that, and
Exactly.
then the Sableye is gonna come in and get a nice farm before the Dragonite is able to make it to a Dragon Claw. And so being forced to bring in the Vigoroth to try to make it to Bulldozes up against the Sableye, but
Yeah,
not before it's gonna
because
start
we
taking sub returns.
because
Or
we do
Falcon.
see double normal in the back for Memi, both the Munchlax and the Vigoroth here. Neither one of which really wants to face this Sableye.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Sableye is just dumping all of its energy onto the Vigoroth. The Vigoroth is able to hang on, but it will be able to make it to a Bulldoze. Going for a Body Slam bait, as this is not going to do that much damage to the Sableye. But if it was a Bulldoze, it would be very close to knocking it out. So, but being
Yeah.
able to call the bait and not being forced to shield, going
Oh,
to throw the Bulldoze on CMP, but the Sableye
But
wins CMP up against Vigoroth and is going to secure the knockout.
exactly. So Memi is down a shield, down to its last Pokemon, and we see the Munchlax come out with Lantern from Esperalto's side.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see this Munchlax is doing a decent amount of fast move pressure, debating the shield here, being able to try to call the surf bait, and unfortunately it was the Thunderbolt. So I think honestly, once you start getting up to 2 surfs, you can start trying to go to knock out the Munchlax.
Yeah, I mean, Bulldoze is definitely a threat, which we do see the shield come up to protect this Lantern. But Lantern is going to start, at this range, Surf does become a real threat instead of having to go all the way to that Thunderbolt.
Yeah, absolutely. But applying some fast move pressure, going to throw the next body slam, potentially trying to go for that final shield as a bait, and does secure the final shield. As a bulldoze will be the only way to secure the knockout on this lantern at this range, but the lantern is able to almost make it down on the Munchlax. But I believe there is still a final Pokemon in the back,
I
so it's
do
gonna
believe,
just
I
be
mean, there is still a Sableye. I don't think it has energy, but I mean, at this range, it really doesn't need anything. It can Shadow Claw down that poor little Munch.
Yeah, absolutely. So AS able to pull back and get a point off of the barely health Sableye. So definitely seeing how versatile Sableye can be, even up against normal types where the Shadow Claws are resisted.
Well, as we've seen, with no opposing Mandibuzz on that team, and especially now knowing their reliance on the normals in the back, that Sableye becomes much more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do see a nice lead here. Lantern into Dragonite. Even though Dragonite does apply fast move pressure, it is not appreciating any sort of moves from
It's
the
still,
Lantern.
even as a non-shadow, it still doesn't want to take too much damage from this Lantern. It's still just a pretty glassy mon, and it does get the Lantern from Memi does get that first shield from the Dragonite by threatening that Thunderbolt.
But understanding that Lantern is a bulky Pokemon and is able to take this Dragon Claw from the Dragonite and throw a Thunderbolt up against it.
So how much do they really want to protect their dragon?
Or is this Thunder?
A
This actually
lot.
might be Thunder.
A lot, apparently, giving up both shields early on from Aspercelto.
Yeah, I think I might have a miscall on that. I think it was actually Thunder. Apologies for me not understanding different languages.
It's true. We do our best. We can only ever do our best. So we see Wormadam come out against the opposing Lantern here, and getting that Bug Buzz.
We do see a 2-shield Dragonite in the back, which is definitely a pretty powerful force from what we've seen from different matches. And
Exactly.
doing a surf, almost able to secure the knockout on the Wormadam, but still going to be able to get some nice farm.
Exactly. That little bug is tanky, but does give some valuable farm back to the opposing Lantern. And now, as you said, 2 shields and a Dragonite really puts a lot of pressure on your opponent.
Well, actually, it even potentially can be 3 shields as a sack onto the Lantern, as oh my god, this is a possibility.
As we see happening, catching the Thunder on this Lantern, and now having absolutely very little to fear. But Sableye can deal its own incredible amount of neutral damage with that Shadow Claw.
Yeah,
you can't shield the fast moves.
I do think we did potentially see an undercharge there. I don't know if that was on purpose. I think it is to try to make sure that they can have energy to fight the mons in the back. Understanding that potentially there's no reason to throw a charge move with that last shield in play. I don't think that is fully correct, as you know, sometimes you get to 1 HP and to dream on other things and not other, you know, which would be able to secure the knockout, as this Dragonite is now down into the yellow and very close to the red, but able to throw that Dragon Claw on the last Dragonite, and the Lantern coming in, trying to spark down and unable to secure a charge move to knock out the Dragonite.
Spark, unfortunately, just not putting on the same pressure as the Dragon Breath. My goodness. Giving Dragon... Success strategy. Giving Dragonite 2 shields.
Yeah, so we do see, I mean, at least Italy has now come back a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, it's still any person's game, you know, it's still any country's game by this point total, but we do see that Chile has secured a pretty good lead, but they still need to defend it in this last matchup, and we've seen a pretty good knowledge of their own dragon powerhouses, so I'm really interested to see how they play out this last match.
We're playing the nice we're losing track, can't do math. That is 3 matches, so we are on to our next set of matches. I mean, Italy is a 3-0 away from just being pretty close and catching up, but we do see Vantuski how many times has he been like a continental champion and oh
my god,
all this stuff, having to try to go for another year.
Yeah, an incredible powerhouse player over on Chile's side, and we do see like a new team over on Italy's side from Emalange 23, but we do see the same kind of familiar players. We see the Umbreon, the Sableye for a double dark potential, but we also see double counter potential in that Escav and that Vig.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though it does provide some bulk in with the Umbreon and Vigoroth. I mean, for Umbreon here, I love seeing Umbreon. You just need to make sure it doesn't get caught up against the Wormadam, but it does have access to Foul Play and Dark Pulse, which can definitely be pretty spammy and pretty energy efficient as well.
Exactly. I'm really excited to see the again the potential gremlin in the background. Love to see it, but with that Mandibuzz over on Vantuski's side, you know, it has a pretty strong counter. So you know, what will we see as our safe swap potential here?
I mean, I definitely think Lantern is strong on each side, but then also too, you have to watch out for the Flygon on the opposing side. But we haven't seen Flygon, I believe, with Earth Power today. Or it hasn't been revealed.
Yeah, at least not to us, not yet, but let's see what we get this time. And we do see the Flygon come out immediately against the opposing Dragonite.
And just as I say that we didn't have a Flygon with a ground move, here we go. Understanding the prevalence of probably Lantern in the meta and being like, yeah, I kind of need this help.
Exactly, and we do see the Mandibuzz from Vantuski trying to catch, I believe, the first body slam from this opposing Vigoroth, but unable to do so, and now will take just a bunch of spam.
Absolutely, and this counter is definitely doing some nice fast move pressure as well on the Mandibuzz. Even though Mandibuzz is pretty bulky, it is going to be able to throw this foul play onto the Vigoroth, but understanding Vigoroth is also a pretty tanky Pokemon as well, and is able to
able to survive. And we'll try to overfarm just a little bit before it throws this next body slam.
Yeah, absolutely. But this will
I don't
not
think the
secure
Mandibuzz.
out on the mid.
No, absolutely not. Thick bird, too thick, and able to get a nice farm down with a lot of energy on this bird.
But we
But
do
not
see
bef-
that opposing farm down on the Shadow Dragonite. Definitely giving some energy there. Even though it wasn't a great matchup, this Flygon's coming in with a full Dragon Claw and forcing the first shield of the matchup.
Exactly. And we do see, yeah, that shield comes up to protect this dragon, and it will be able to throw its own Dragon Claw now. Will we see another, like, the first shield from Ventusky? No, gonna let the Flygon go, understanding that it's done most of what it came here to do, and now going to be facing off with a Escavalier against an opposing dragon. My goodness, this is
a fast move pressure down game at this point, as there's not much that can be done here on the side, especially as we've seen the power of a two shielded Shadow Dragonite. There's not really many charge moves that you can do to throw.
exactly, and we don't even see like that Dragonite just absolutely trying to go for that Dragon Breath farm down, and Escav is going to throw a drill run, knowing that there's just not much it can do. Oh, but it does get the last shield, and I'm not sure if it has enough health left.
I think this might be. I think if I remember correctly, potentially leaving out with a Dragon Claw loaded. Or nope, but just threw right before, so there was no energy, completely energy dry. Shadow Dragonite and securing the win from Ventusky with this Dragon Claw coming through and securing the knockout.
Yes, Dragonite plus shields. We've seen it before, and Ventusky certainly uses it to his advantage to win that first point.
Yeah, absolutely. A dominating performance of two shield Dragonite. So I wonder if we're going to see potentially some more bulky Pokemon, maybe, an Umbreon or a Sableye come in to try to counteract that and just be able to spam up against the Dragonite and be able to take some of its bulk.
But we do see the Dragonite from Emalange against Vigoroth on Ventusky's side. Kind of a neutral matchup, but as we've seen, the Vigoroth just able to start throwing and don't stop throwing.
Yes, absolutely. Securing the first shield on Emalange's side, but trying to farm up as much as humanly possible. I think maybe a potential Dragon Claw coming through, potentially able to secure the knockout on the Vigoroth, but does get shielded. So going to be able to throw this second body slam, but we do see
and does want to protect the dragon. It's really interesting, the two different strategies we've seen: two shield Dragonite in the beginning, two shield Dragonite in the back. So without both shields, this Dragonite does have quite a bit of energy, but Mandibuzz comes in, and we do see bulk versus bulk.
Yep, absolutely. But this is a fast move flying rather than snarl. So Mandibuzz is actually able to secure the victory here with applying the fast move pressure rather than if it had snarl, it would not be able to apply.
Exactly. A really delicate matchup between these two bulky mons, but as you said, the air slash pretty much guarantees that the Mandibuzz is able to deal that much more damage.
Yeah, absolutely. But attempting to just keep throwing these last resorts and is able to secure, some of the moves from this Mandibuzz. And there is a move on the Dragonite as well, so maybe potentially trying to catch a last resort or just trying to
exactly. They spent shields on that Dragonite, but they also left with energy, and it's really important for Ventusky to remember that going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also think, we do see that it isn't a Cavalier in the back. So, it's going to be a little rough, especially up against a Dragonite that is going to resist most of the moves.
Exactly.
But we do see that these traders have opted to stay into this matchup, potentially just trying to either secure a knockout on either the Mandibuzz or the Umbreon first. or be able to knock out. But we do say deciding to save the Mandibas was very low health to potentially try to go for a sack later on. And this Shadow Dragonite coming in with a shield and going straight for the superpower.
Well, there's no shields to protect this SCAV, so you might as well just knock it all the way out. This Dragonite doesn't mind being this Dragonite doesn't mind being debuffed because it has a shield to hide behind.
It does, but we do see deciding not to go for the Dragon Claw charge move and potentially bringing in this Umbreon. Not going to be able to make it to a move, securing another win for Vantuski.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
So
the double, you know, giving the Dragonite shields in the back definitely seems to have been the more valuable strat for Chile throughout all of these matches.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do see there's a lot of well played and well skilled trainers on both sides. So
Oh my
Vantuski
gosh,
is
the
definitely
plays,
having a field
plays,
day.
the catches have been incredible on both sides. I mean, we got to give points to someone, but everybody has been playing to their absolute best, and it's incredible.
But we do see this Umbreon coming in. It does not appreciate a superpower from the Shadow Dragonite, but it definitely is able to take one. But securing a shield first from Vantuski on the Dragonite.
And the Dragonite is over farming quite a bit before it goes for this first superpower, which will be not shielded by the Umbreon on Emmelane's side. Oh, goodness, that hurts.
And so that one catch for not a charge move priority event, able to swap into the Lantern to eat the foul play, but an immediate swap into their own Shadow Dragonite and able to start applying a lot of fast move pressure on this opposing Lantern.
Oh my goodness, yeah, but will shield at the threat of the potential Thunder, which I believe it is the Thunder, not the Thunderbolt, as we were saying earlier.
Oh, also too, some of these Lanterns have had different ones, but understanding that it cannot be the Thunder, yes, I think it is Thunder, as it is a single word. Trying to go for the farm down, but the Lantern is able to make it to a final serve. But understanding that you have almost 100 this Dragonite and you do not want to let it go.
You do not want to get rid of all of that energy. And so Wormadam comes out, and Wormadam will have to face several Dragon Claws, which it calls that bait, calls that it's not the superpower.
Yeah, but definitely now going for the superpower, understanding that opposing Dragonite was not coming in. And it's definitely going to do a chunk here, being unshielded, but immediate swap into Dragonite, but immediate swap into Lantern. So this is going to be a game of baits and a game of managing energy very well.
Exactly, and this Lantern is going for a bait. First, will get that last shield from Vantuski.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that Dragonite does have a move, so understanding the timing of your moves is very important here. We do see a Dragon Claw that will be able to connect to the Lantern, but it will not be able to secure the knockout. Potentially
Not quite
allowing...
enough, but does have another one ready.
Absolutely. This one will be able to secure the knockout, but like I said, I do think that Dragonite does have a Dragon Claw loaded.
I believe it does, but can it get there with the health that it has left? Absolutely. I can't remember which Shadow Dragon has priority. No, not able to spend that energy. So Umbreon comes in, but just not able to survive those Dragon Breaths long enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So Vantusi giving a very dominating performance in his matches and, giving Chile an additional lead. Now it's almost double.
Oof. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Vantuski coming in and really securing Chile's desire for that victory.
Absolutely. So I think we are on to our final set of matches with my lovely co-cast of Kaz.
Yay! I'm so excited to see how we end this first half. You know, considering we've had such a wild ride of Chile really putting in the time and work into these matchups to secure an early lead.
Yeah, and I do see on that side we do not have any form of Dragonite. We have its actually little brother, Dragonair.
Goodness gracious, we still have double dragon, but we have the little brother instead of the the big brother. But we do see, over on Ventuski's side, we just saw his Shadow Dragonite and what a powerhouse that could be when given shields. So looking over at Matt's team, the little cousin, the little brother Dragonair does have a lot of spam potential, just like the Vigoroth that we also have seen. So even when faced with the Shadow Dragonite, can potentially spam moves a little bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, too, I do see that Sableye, the little gremlin that you so enjoy. And it does have a pretty good matchup, being able to throw foul plays and definitely spam out some. Just try to avoid the Wormadam and the Manabuzz, and I honestly think that Sableye could be a real threat with some energy.
As we've seen in so many metas before, it can be a very good safe swap if you give it just that little bit of energy advantage.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Matt is able to use the Sableye to its advantage up against Ventuski, as he just had a very dominating performance beforehand. But we do see a Wormadam and Mandibuzz as the lead.
Exactly, and this Mandibuzz does have the Air Slash, so it's putting up a little more fight against this Wormadam than we've previously seen, which is rocking that Bug Buzz, which is doing some pretty decent neutral damage.
Yeah, and the Bug Bite is definitely adding up, and the Bug Buzz now coming through potentially for a defense drop, but the Mandibuzz does take it for a chance, it does get the defense drop.
Wow, you love to see it when you get that little sparkle that indicates that you got that drop. My goodness.
But we do see a double flyer strat, and now realize that Matt also doesn't have a lantern, which has been a pretty much stable on most of these teams.
Exactly, a lot of team shifts that we get from Matt over on Italy's side, and so far Ventuski seems to be able to still create dominant matchup for themselves, getting that Mandibuzz out of the way early on. But now the Wormadam gets a little farm down from the Vigoroth.
Yeah, that was barely making it to that Bug Buzz. But this Vigoroth is going to be able to come up and definitely do some charge move pressure with body slams and securing the first shield from the Dragonite.
I mean, as we've seen, you give Dragonite the shields, it can get up to a lot of energy and really put a threat on whatever comes in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. But this Dragonite is now going to be able to come back, throw the Dragon Claw, and gain the shield advantage or shield neutralness back as the Vigoroth decides to shield, but now deciding to double shield the Dragonite. So definitely, this is a strat from Mitch.
We've seen it. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And Flygon comes out to try and put an immediate threat onto the opposing dragon, getting that last shield. And the Mandibuzz comes out. But as we haven't seen Matt's team yet. We don't know if this Flygon has that Stone Edge or the Earth Power, and I think we're about to find out.
And we do see the Stone Edge definitely doing impressive damage, but I think this foul play is going to connect and potentially be able to knock out the opposing Flygon, but it's actually unable to. But giving the Mandibuzz some farm. Understanding potentially trying not to let that last Pokemon get the farm on the Mandibuzz, potentially allowing for that Flygon to throw its charge move and then additional farm on the Dragonite.
Yeah, Ventuski showing a knowledge of his Dragonite being able to come in and farm, but not before it is farmed down itself by Matt's Vigoroth. Goodness gracious. These matchups giving me heart attacks.
Yeah,
we see such low health mons being able to really put up a struggle even in the very end game. It's absolutely wild, the knowledge that these players have of their exact Pokemon stats.
Yeah, also being able to understand and recognize that you were going to potentially need to make it to a charge move. So we do see Mandibuzz into Vigoroth, which is not that bad, and not a double flyer. Still a double flyer strat without the lantern, but definitely a lot more neutral matchup here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do see the Mandibuzz into the Vigoroth. Very, very interesting matchup as they're both very bulky Pokemon and able to throw off charge moves insanely quickly. We do see the foul play coming through. Looks like some beautiful magic.
Beautiful lag right there, just absolutely showing us how great these animations are.
The video didn't accidentally hit like, I don't know, slow mode maybe?
I don't know what's happening, but this is amazing. This is just absolutely incredible animation right here that we're showcasing. It's no longer about the battles. It's just about...
Oh. But we do see a catch on the opposing
We do see the opposing Mandibuzz come in and catch a foul play from Ventusky. Beautiful play there.
Yeah, absolutely pretty interesting. You know, I would be like sitting. Yeah, we slow-mo plays in the Matrix movie. I feel like we're in the Matrix. You know, the game. Will the game actually work?
Just start neoing it, like. The Mandibuzz takes it like a champ, and we see an immediate swap into the Vigoroth from Ventusky. It's like we need that Matrix music just to make it feel that much more dynamic.
I know. I feel like Jurassic Park where it's like and how this Vigoroth is going.
Oh, and now it comes back. Now it comes back double time. My goodness.
Okay, so that didn't work. So now the stream can hear me now. So I just tried upping the speed manually, and that seems to have restarted the video back to the beginning. So we're up to battle 2, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh.
Okay, now this is double speed.
Can we have a man-named Mirror at the speed, please? Memi, are you wanting to just watch your podcasters here?
Enjoy the struggle, everybody.
Yeah, Kaz, I think you might be a bit late for your phone call.
Yeah, oh my gosh, especially at this rate. Good lord. Good gracious.
Yes, having a nice you know, Vigoroth spam at this speed.
I mean, yeah, Vigoroth seems to have a pretty good time with it. Flygon putting up the first shield there to get that much more energy gain, and will probably be met with the Dragonite.
Probably, we'll see.
I don't think there was energy. I don't think there was any energy left on that Mandibuzz. So, oh nope, Mandibuzz does come in. Potentially just to be able to take that much more damage and give, as we've seen, 2 shields to the Dragonite in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. Potentially able to soak up the damage. Might not be able to secure the knockout with his Dragon Claw, but I'm assuming a no shield and then attempt to come in and snipe and farm down with the Shadow Dragonite.
Exactly. Oh, and here we go again, spinning through. But we do see the foul play coming out and getting the last shield from that Vigoroth, which is going to be able to throw up its own body slam.
Yeah, we do have a explanation. This was the video that Google Drive wouldn't let me upload. Error message like 3 times. So
technology. We've seen how wonderfully it can work in our favor, but we've also seen how terribly it can be when it doesn't want us to do what we set out to do.
But we do also appreciate the upload and the attempt to upload Ventusky. We appreciate it. We just
very much appreciate
it. As this also looks like a nice slow-mo match here.
The last one that we have between Matt and Ventusky, and I mean, we see after all of that wonderful back and forth that Ventusky still has managed to maintain a pretty good lead for Chile overall.
Yeah, absolutely. But this Vigoroth being able to throw its first body slam, but securing the shield from Ventuski, as we've seen this two shield Dragonite strat
Yeah.
many times.
It's gonna
been
be
very
it's gonna be
successful.
2 shield Dragonite in the front or 2 shield Dragonite in the back. Which one will you get this time? This time we get it in the front, and we see an early swap in from Matt to that Mandibuzz to soak some potential damage from this dragon. I imagine in this position you want to go ahead, throw the superpower, and then swap out as we see Ventuski going for here.
Yeah, we are able to now catch count Dragon Breath. Definitely a lot easier than when it's full speed and it's going like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Petition Niantic to maybe have dragons at this speed all the time.
I don't know
Oh.
if we get into this nice Mandibuzz mirror or Umbreon mirror, which is something we all joke about.
No. I said dragons only. Dragons only. Also maybe Reggie's for lock on, but you know.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only ones that are allowed to be this slow. Because as we see here, that's matchup made even more painful. But that Dragonite superpower landing on the Mandibuzz from Matt really gives a nice health advantage to Ventuski's Mandibuzz coming in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Also able to overfarm a little bit, get some extra energy. Pretty nice way
I see,
to go
I
about
see
that.
in the chat, Pacho is also adding other ideas for Pokemon he'd like to slow down.
Other just all one fast turn moves.
Yeah,
like,
all the
that's
one
it.
turn fast moves. You're right. Let's just put it across the board then.
I think Vantusi's going for a farm down here.
Total
this
farm
opposing
down,
Mandib-
and does get
Mandibuzz
it.
unable to make it to a move. But whatever the back two mons are, still does have 2 shields. So
Exactly, and there is no Dragonite on Matt's team. So what is he going to give those shields to?
and also there isn't bulk to be able to really take these 2 moves. And now since the Mandibuzz is out of the way, but we do see a
Exactly.
Vigoroth coming in, which will be able to take some of the charge and move pressure of the energy that this Mandibuzz does have stored. But I'm expecting we're going to get a protect shield on the Vigoroth.
I do believe that evening out the shields would be the best play for Matt here. And then we see this Mandibuzz throwing all of that energy.
Throwing.
And here we get back to double speed. This video just really wants to keep us on our toes. My goodness.
Absolutely. No shielding the Stone Edge on the
Stone Edge
Wormadam.
does hurt the Wormadam, but Steel typing makes it able to survive just enough to give 2 shields to this Flygon from Matt, but will get knocked out by the Iron Head, and Vigoroth able to farm down. But does it have enough? Nope. Okay, just gonna give that up. All right. Yes, that was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ventuski able to solidify the lead that Chile has pretty solidly at a double point total of 16 for Chile and 8 for Italy.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a commanding lead for Chile. I think we're going to hand it off to our other co-casters to potentially see if Italy is able to make a comeback in this next set of matches.
Exactly. Have fun with all the Dragonites, boys.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here. Still here. Despite all the breathing and all the slowing down and all the everythings. Yeah. Well, I was just trying to understand the meta, because I actually didn't play this meta at all. I was not in the Brazilian team this month. And then when I started looking at the teams, because the meta was actually crafted by the players, right? By the countries. and I was texting, my friend and say, "What the hell did you do with this meta? It's all about Dragonites and sniping with Dragon Breaths, and what is this?"
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that dragons are so popular because they basically picked 5 types that none of them really wall a dragon, and they banned the
Yeah.
Pokemon that would normally sneak in there to take care of them. So dragons were always going to have a very nice showing. I also do need to warn you ahead of time. If I seem slow with what I'm saying, or if I say something stupid, it's because it is 4:30 a.m. for me. So I'm gonna warn you all
Ooh.
now,
Wow.
just so there's an
It's a
explanation.
hard work.
I know.
Work being a streamer.
It's a labor of love. All right, so what do you see in these two teams? We have Emmalange and Steps.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the same picks, right?
Mhm.
Everyone is bringing Dragonite and Vigoroth, Lantern. Seems like a standard core.
Mhm.
I am surprised that MLNG didn't pick Mandibuzz because Mandibuzz is actually like a fairly solid answer to Dragonite because when you don't have the resistance of the Steel type or the pressure of the Ice type, you need to just outbulk it.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting choice, but I see that Emelange brought the Sableye, which is gonna clip this Vigoroth safe switches, right?
Yeah.
If Vigoroth just comes in, Sableye can just wall it, and we see it on the both sides. So the only difference is actually on the Steel type because Emelange brought this Cavalier, so a double counter strategy.
Mhm.
Whereas Step brought the Wormadam, which can deal with the Dragonite much better and it's bulkier. And just the choice of the dark type. So Steps brought the Mandibuzz and Emelange brought the Umbreon. So both running double dark and pretty much all the same cores.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see what strategy is gonna really pop up.
Scavalier also can beat the Wormadam as well, so that
Yeah.
it's it might have a little bit of trouble finding a spot with the Mandibuzz there, with the Dragonite there, with the Sableye there, but if he can line that up properly, then that's an advantage that the Escavalier can bring.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the battles. This is Emelange versus Steps, and we see, to start off with, it is the Wormadam into the Shadow Dragonite. Now, the Wormadam is running Bug Bite. That is not as handy against the Dragonite. The Dragonite's just going to power through with its Chainsaw Motion Dragon Breaths, while the Wormadam throws equally resisted damage, and that is a big hit before swapping out into the Sableye.
Yeah, throwing out the Bug Buzz into the Sableye. Sableye decides not to shield. And you see, it's running Bug Bite, so it won't get walled by the Dark types, which is pretty smart, but really makes the matchup against Dragonite much worse.
It does.
And now coming Mandibuzz into the Sableye, it's gonna tank the return. So we've seen a lot of Power Gem Sableyes, but this one is running return. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's kind of old faithful, old reliable. Return Sableye can actually do a decent job against the Mandibuzz as well. Two returns and you flip that match up. So I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. And now we see Spark Lantern into the Mandibuzz, which is pretty nice for Lantern. Can hit super effectively on their fast move and potentially can farm down if you decide to shield. But I think he's gonna throw like a surf right on the end.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps because trying to farm down a Mandibuzz is like trying to farm down like California. Like it's a very big task. It's not easily done.
When you have like a Dragonite running around, right? You need to preserve some HP. So.
Okay, so now we have a decision, the Wormadam or the Vigoroth. That Wormadam is on pretty low HP, so I think the safer play is the Vigoroth, which is what Steps does.
Maybe it's gonna catch? No
catch. So the Surf is going to hit that Vigoroth, and the Vigoroth is going to shield. I'm surprised there. I thought that Vigoroth was going to just tank that smiling, but no, deciding to preserve that HP for that Dragonite to come back in.
Yeah, but now Dragonite has like two Dragon Claws, so Vigoroth's gonna either need to catch or just tank the move. Oh no, oh, no, sorry, Vigoroth had two Body Slams, so he's
Mm.
gonna take both shields from the Dragonite.
And then it's going to
And
be a bit of a race to see who gets to that
yeah,
last move last. We do still have other Pokemon on both sides, so there is
ooh,
catch potential. There is interesting interplay here with energy management that can go on, Pacha.
yeah, it can go back to back because Dragonite's not at the Dragon Claw yet perfectly.
Perfect.
So Vigoroth takes out the Dragonite, and it's all about Lantern. But I don't think Lantern's gonna be enough. Oh, it's too low. Just need to catch the surf. It's gonna get it. It does
Gets
get it
there.
fine.
So now it's
Takes out
Wormadam.
Vigoroth.
It's all up to Wormadam
Yeah.
now. The last person left in line with the Bug Bite.
Oof.
The stab Bug Bite.
Oof.
This is going to be close.
I don't think
That
it's gonna be
Lantern, I
enough.
think, is
It's
going
not
to get to
gonna
the
be enough.
surf.
Gonna take it to surf.
Oh, no!
What?
Oh!
What was that? Was that like lag or something? I swear.
I
The
don't
surf should have been
think
got off.
so. I think that last Bug Bite just came
What?
through when the surf was meant to fire. I don't have anything in my
What?
notes saying that there was avalanche. No, I don't have anything in my notes saying that there was some sort of replay or dispute. So
Wow.
yeah, I
Wow.
think that's just all fair.
Wow.
Steps takes that one.
Fish. Meme is saying that you were muted.
Yeah,
Somehow,
yeah, that was before I took care of that. Cool. So second battle,
Alright.
we have Dragonite into Sableye. Now that Dragonite is, I mean, Sableye's not particularly bulky, so it's gonna have to use some shields, fire some moves, pressure that Dragonite back with its foul plays, which of course the Dragonite doesn't want to take any foul plays.
Yeah, but you see how the Shadow Claw is on par with the Dragon Breath damage. It's just so
Mhm.
oppressive.
Yeah.
And Sableye is already in the yellow. He's gonna try to get you the last foul play. Does
Ooh.
get it perfect and well, perfect. The Dragonite forces the CMP, and there's no reason to shield because you'll die probably with the shield damage. I don't know if
Absolutely.
that was 1 HP.
Yeah, it could have been, and that's a really tough one to guess. Now we get a pretty rare thing which is for a counter user to counter down a flyer. But if anyone can do it, it's a Scavalier onto a Dragonite. So now out comes Sableye, and so this is a pretty strong position for Steps to be in. Now the Sableye can tank a drill run. Doesn't want to tank a second one, but it can afford to build up a little more. It doesn't take that opportunity though. It just throws that foul play pretty well quickly, and we do get the shield from the Escavalier.
Yeah, and now I think you just save your shield for Vigoroth, right? Because Vigoroth
Yeah.
now, I mean, both of Avalanche's counters to Vigoroth are gone, like Scavalier and Dragonite. So now you just counter down. It's gonna let it. It's gonna get it. It's gonna get it. Got it
Ooh.
to the drill run. That's huge because it's gonna take the last shield. And now it's all about the matchup Lantern versus Vigoroth.
All right, so we see that Lantern come in. It's got a job
just
to
right
do.
away.
Now, do we of course we go for the Bulldoze, the super effective Bulldoze. It's
Yeah.
gonna do a lot, but we know Lantern's very bulky, so
Not enough.
it can tank
Yeah.
that just fine. So it's
Still
gonna
needs to get to a body slam probably, and
Mhm.
I think one Thunderbolt or maybe two serves better. Yeah, two serves, perfect.
Yeah, two surfs would be better than one Thunderbolt. We'll see if the two surfs is enough. We see, yeah, it takes it into the red, so one more surf will do it. We see the body slam coming through on CMP. Will this be enough to KO the Lantern, or will it
Oh my
just
God,
survive?
I think better is not. It's not. Yeah, like,
Oh, the
oh my
Vigoroth.
gosh. Maybe it
Vigoroth
was like
carrying
the
it.
right amount of damage.
Yep.
Jeez.
If that thing
Nice
had 10
game.
HP left, that body slam did 11. That was
Yeah.
excellent work. All right, so two wins for Steps in that one. So that brings
Yeah.
Chile
Now
up
the
to
third match.
18-8. This is a demolition job so far by Chile. The underdogs, I mean, are these really the underdogs? These guys have just not been threatened at all since they dropped into the lower bracket.
Yeah, and now Italy has like a pretty uphill battle to do, you know? Needs to run like 10 points.
Yeah.
But let's see. Maybe the best is in the end. Let's see.
Let's hope
So
so.
Vigoroth just throwing the first body slam, just get the first shield from Dragonite. And we see that the Steps Dragonite is looking really good right now because you can just let it go, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's gonna use the body slam. Fine, has energy. Yeah, if it gets its 2 shields, perfect, nice. But now the Dragonite's gonna farm down. And
Yeah, so
maybe you switch. Okay, switches into the
wow.
Dragonite. Wow, why?
That's an aggressive move, trying to probably get as much of that damage in there as possible. Try and maybe get rid of that Dragonite before his opponent has time to react. That's my best guess. Of course, I mean, had the energy there, so was able to put pressure back on and burn that second shield.
Yeah, throws a superpower on the CMP, which is a very... Oh, okay, not CMP. I thought it was. Fine's gonna throw now the foul play to KO the Dragonite. And now the best counter to Sableye is gone. So
Yeah.
Sableye maybe is gonna see a lot of play in the end. Let's see.
Now, the Vigoroth can actually do some decent work with the little bit of energy that it can get, but that foul play comes through first, so that Vigoroth will not be able to play any more part in this battle, and it is all up to, I think that was the Escavalier in the back, no, not Escavalier, the Sableye. Yeah, it doesn't have Escavalier.
It cannot switch out, so the Umbreon's gonna get farmed down, which is very good for Steps, because Sableye with energy is just like a very powerful Pokemon. So it's gonna take the first foul play, but the thing is, maybe because of this chip damage, Lantern's gonna maybe able to come back. So no return on this Sableye, which is interesting to note.
Yeah.
Power Gem is preferred because of all the Mandibuses, but right now it's actually, you know, you're kind of missing out the return to...
I mean, I'm
like
not even sure that would help in this
Lantern.
point, Pacho, because with no shields, I think Lantern's got that over the Sableye any day.
Yeah. That was a bulk win.
That was a bulk win. Bulk carries the day. And there we go. Italy gets the first of what I'm sure will be many, many wins to try and come back against Chile. That was number 3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yes,
9-18.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-18.
All right, so
let's go Italy. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I mean, I have mentioned it on the stream before. I've got Italian heritage myself, so I feel like
really?
these guys are my paesani, as they would say, my countrymen.
Paesani.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it hurts me to see them being beaten so savagely by the Chileans.
But do you speak any Italian?
Poco. A little bit. It's like si, no, and non capisco.
No capisco.
Yeah. All right, so Mateo Rob versus Steps. Now we see the double dragon from Mateo, but the 2 dragons are Flygon and Dragonair, so no Dragonite like we've seen on so many other teams.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I was actually having a quick look on PvPoke, just trying to figure out why Dragonair over Dragonite, and honestly, I just couldn't see a reason to that, because, okay, Dragonite is frail, but so is Dragonair. But Dragonite can resist counter, so there's a lot more of a farmed out potential on Vigoroth, on Scavalier, and with the added superpower, which is widely unresisted in this meta, you know, it's maybe you don't have the Dragonite. That's all. And that's all. And that's why you're using Dragonair, maybe. But let's see.
It could be that.
Flygon's a nice pick. I actually like it because you see all these lanterns running around. Flygon is a fine counter.
Yeah.
So.
Do you run Mudshot or Dragon Tail?
I think I would run Dragon Tail just because of. I mean, Mudshot is nice, but the amount of pressure coming from Dragon Tail sometimes means you don't have to throw as many charge moves, and you can just farm down stuff and just unleash all this energy in the other Pokemons. Also noteworthy, many teams have Mandibuzz. So with Mudshot, you'll be doing like no damage on the fast move.
Sure.
So Dragon Tail plus Stone Edge, which is like a nice moveset, a nice touch on the Flygons, just clip all these Mandibuses. So it's a nice pick. It's a pick
Yeah.
I would choose definitely.
And I think you still beat Lantern with Stone Edge, right? And no
I
Earthbound.
think you don't really need the Earth Power
Yeah.
because you mean the Dragon Tails plus the Dragon Claws
Mm.
are doing the job, but of course, like in a closing scenario, Earth Power would be
Handy.
much more desirable.
Yeah. I mean, you've always got to, weigh up the pros and cons, make sacrifices here to gain advantages there. That is why we love the strategy of the game. Let's
Yeah.
check out the battles. Mateo versus
Let's
Steps.
do it.
Sableye versus
And we see
Flygon.
already Sublime versus Flygon. And you see it's a Dragon Tail Flygon.
Yep, so they listened.
Nice. It's gonna try to throw on good timing. Perfect. First foul play coming through. Let's see if Mateo decides to shield. Doesn't need to. Okay, it does anyway. And okay.
The
I
Flygon has enough for
don't
2
think
Dragon Claws. So
one does not KO. Okay, it's gonna shield the first one. Maybe fearing like the big move. So let's see. I don't think it KOs.
we'll
Let's
see. We get Steps wasn't sure, so used the double shield and now is sending through that foul play. I believe this is the second foul play that the Sableye's thrown, or just the first. We get the no
Yeah, the
shield
second one.
on the Flygon. So now we are up 1 shield to 0 in favor of Mateo.
Interesting. He's trying to swap out. So why did you waste both shields?
Try-
I didn't get that. That's fine. Now Vigoroth is locked into the Sableye. Okay.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Mateo right now. It just has a matchup that he will really appreciate. The foul plays will be doing quite reasonable damage against the Vigoroth, whereas Bulldoze, still doing reasonable damage, but taking longer to get there. Definitely not as energy efficient. So the Sableye definitely has the better of this matchup.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what could be in the back. Maybe Mandibus?
Yep, that would make sense. The next foul play coming through, and we get a nice posing Vigoroth. There you go, and that's nice use of the counter on the Vigoroth as well. So now, look, this Sableye is low enough that it can maybe get off one foul play. The body slam might not do enough to
I think
KO.
it KOs.
Yeah.
Let's see. If it's a good Sableye, yeah, it barely
just
doesn't. And now Vigoroth's gonna need to take this foul play. Do we see a shield? Let's see.
Yep, Steps had that shield to
shielded,
spend,
okay.
and so spends it. Now it is Vigoroth versus Wormadam, and is that Bug Bite again? That is another Bug Bite Wormadam.
Yeah, it's Bug Bite. And now we see Bug Buzz on the CMP tie. Bulldoze that does not KO. We all know it's a crappy move and it's not non-stab. So, oof, it does even less than I thought. So now this Vigoroth is in a lot of trouble. But Mateo still has a Pokemon in the back, right? Yeah, the Sableye.
Yeah,
So now it's all about Sableye, which I think is gonna get to the foul play. Yeah, just before the full farm down. So nice recognition from Mateo, and winning this point to Italy.
There you
How
go.
about
Italia.
Go Italy, go Italy. Who is the underdog now?
All right, so 10 to 18, so it's only 8 whole points needed to tie things back up
Well,
again.
I've seen worse. Let's see. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see how Steps adjusts. So we've seen. Oh, now I'm trying to remember. This is where the whole 5 in the morning syndrome kicks in. I'm trying to remember what we've seen in the first 2 battles to see what
Don't worry.
can be done for the next one. All right, so Vigoroth versus Wormadam. This is pretty good for Vigoroth in the lead. I feel those counters really do add up over time. If it wants to spend a shield, it can get that Wormadam quite low.
Yeah, it's gonna throw the charge move. Is the Bulldoze, gets no shielded, so now Step is going to the opposite way. It's gonna maybe save all the shields to Dragonite in the back. Let's see. It's like a current popular play in this meta. It's like just
Yeah,
save
it's looking
shields for
good.
Dragonite and be done with it. So Vigoroth cannot farm down. It's gonna throw the body slam, which may just barely KO. Let's say.
Oh, I mean, if it couldn't KO the Sableye from where it was at, surely. No, it
Ooh.
does do it. Wow.
But now you see, now it's Dragonite time.
Dragonite time, and we see him countering with the Mandibuzz. Those air slashes can add up against that Dragonite. Look at how much it's chunking down. Air slash doesn't normally do that much to a Pokemon, but Dragonite does not like any aggression from an opposing Pokemon.
Yeah. Goes straight for the superpower, gets no shield, it tries to catch on the Mandibuzz, and it does anyway. So it's probably on aerial ways, right?
It would have to
perfect.
be, yep.
I've seen some Mandibuzzes running like double dark, which is not good for this particular match, so be aware. And now we see Flygon into Mandibuzz. Throws the foul play, which, wow, a nice glitch. And the Dragon Tail
I love that
just
one,
came through.
yeah. Just suddenly halfway through the animation. Not quick.
Yeah.
All right, so
I thought it was a CMP tie, but
no,
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so who do you think has the upper hand at the moment?
Well, if Flygon baits perfect and gets to the Stone Edge, of course it KOs. But maybe until it gets to the Stone Edge, the Dragon Claw is gonna be enough. The problem with Air Slash Mandibuzz is this: you just don't apply that much charge move pressure. Yeah, definitely Dragon Clawing.
And wow, interesting catch.
Before the CMP.
And a
catches
shield.
The Dragon Claw, which needs to be shielded anyway.
Yeah. So that's always an interesting play, is sending in the Pokemon, catching the move, and then shielding anyway. We get the second Dragon Claw, which is going to do so much damage to this Dragonite. Surely it's not going to live.
It's going to KO.
It's going to KO.
Oh my gosh. And I was going to bank all on the Mandibuzz. Well, this foul play maybe doesn't KO. Mandibuzz is
you think it might live?
Weighted Pokemon. Oh, just barely does it, okay? And then, yeah.
But now, Mateo's Mandibuzz comes in and is like, guys.
Yeah,
I left you for 30 seconds.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the catch was worth it at all. What do you think?
I agree, yeah. To catch that move and then spend that shield as well. If you're going to catch, then you're basically sacrificing that Pokemon at that stage. You probably... want to... I think the better play would have been to sacrifice your Mandibuzz and then try and...
Yeah, because you force the Flygon to throw.
Yeah.
Because you were one off the foul play.
And then you could potentially have tried to farm down from there. Maybe it probably would have been able to get off one Dragon Claw at least. But you still got that one shield there. And then you could probably farm down before it gets any more.
Yeah. Tough decisions.
Yeah.
And, that's the way the game plays. It's like no that much time to think. So, especially with dragons on the board, it's not easy to think fast.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm not even battling. I'm watching the battles, and I'm still like like deciding what the right thing to do is like a minute after it actually happens.
Well, but now Italy has 11 points. So
yeah. That was a nice 3-0 to Mateo.
Bomber.
Bomber versus Decupe. We see the Shadow Dragonites on both sides. We see the Escav and the Wormadam interplay there. We see the Dragonair on Decupe's side. So what do you think of...
combo? It's just comboing the both Dragonair and Dragonite. I think it's interesting. I mean, Flygon is nice because you have the Stone Edge to threaten the Mandibuzzes. But in this case, Bomber, does not have the Mandibuzz. So Dragonite has a lot of play. Maybe a double Dragon Strat's pretty nice there.
I'm thinking a lot of double Dragon Strats.
Mandibuzz or even Lantern on the lead. I think it's the way to go.
Yeah,
also
I like
from
that.
The Bomber side, the double dark, double counter is the same team, right? Yeah, same team from the previous one.
It looks very similar. I mean, a lot of these teams look very similar. I think this is a low variety cup. Like it's good. It's a good cup because there's a lot of interplay between a lot of those Pokemon. But the variety is a bit lower than what we might have seen in some like recent Silph Cups.
Yeah, but I mean, this Cavalier on Bomber side is really strong because it
Hmm.
only really struggles versus Dragonite, so has a lot of play. Maybe even like a double counter user strategies. It's the way to go there.
Yeah, I feel like
Just
Mandibuzz
need to
has
watch
pretty.
out for
Yep.
this. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like Mandibuzz has pretty decent matchups against the Escavalier as well. Like it can tank a Mega Horn pretty comfortably,
Yeah,
and then just get off a
but I
whole bunch
mean,
of yep,
uh,
yep.
because the Decoupé, Decoupé, sorry, does not have a Sableye, so the counter
Mm,
users have much more room to
mm-hmm,
play. So
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes with like a Vigor Offense Cavalier. But just need to watch out for the bulk because you see there's a lot of fast move pressure on this side of the field.
On the Pacho side. All right,
Yeah,
let's go.
let's see.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Dragonite versus Dragonair. This is an interesting matchup. That Dragonite getting out, which is interesting because I think Dragonite has the upper hand in that matchup, doesn't it,
Yeah,
Pacho?
he wins every single scenario.
Mm.
I mean, in the ones and in the choose is like a double KO. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Okay, so
just wanted
obviously
to
wants to save
preserve,
it
to
for
just to
yeah.
pull. Maybe wanted to lure out the counter user, which the Kupai didn't bring at all. So
Wow, yeah, no counter user being used on Decupai's side. Only one counter user on their team at all. But yeah,
yeah,
stayed on the bench this time. So now we see what we've seen a few times already, which is the Wormadam versus the Vigoroth matchup. The Wormadam throwing, sorry, the Vigoroth throwing a little bit of energy before being bitten down into nothing.
yeah. And now the thing is, because it's running Bug Bite, you cannot even come with your Umbreon. You need to come back with
Yeah.
Dragonite and Shield. But now this energy is gonna be very useful because he's gonna go for the full farm down. And that energy is very, very, very dangerous coming from a Shadow Dragonite.
Well, and the Dragonite has the two shields in hand as well. So, I mean, yeah, the Dragonite's loving it at the moment. We see the first Dragon Claw coming through from the Red Dragonite, opting to save the next one, bringing in the Umbreon, which, I mean, lucky for the Umbreon, there are no counter users on the other side. So, this is a very, very safe matchup for Umbreon.
Yeah. And Decoupage with the double dragon strategy, but ABA Dragon, which is interesting, is just gonna spam this Umbreon and just soften up for the for his own Dragonite just to farm it down. Let's see if it works. So takes another
Ooh.
foul play and switches to catch.
Wow. Okay, we'll see if the same thing
Okay.
happens. Are they gonna catch it and then throw up the shield as well? I mean, Dragonite took that pretty nicely, to be honest. This is looking pretty good.
Well,
Now we might see that second shield.
yeah. At this point, if I were Bomber, I would just save my shield to Dragonite. Yeah, just pressure it with Umbreon.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But then, oh
Ooh!
wow, getting to that move, and that is so much energy
Yeah, no,
wasted.
yeah, and that's just a GG. There's just no way. There's no way. He's gonna come with Dragonite, just shield this, and just
And
fast
just
move it
bada
down.
boom, bada boom. That's it.
Very, very nice. The Dragonite Umbreon combo was crucial there. You see, you need to pair your Dragonite with something bulky that just don't need shields,
Right.
so you can take the most advantage out of your Dragonite. Very, very well played.
That does
And
kind
another
of.
point to Italy.
Yeah, I know it's happening. The comeback's on. But it does kind of get a little murkier when the other side does have a Dragon Breath user, because then, you can have saved 17 shields for your Dragonite, but you can
Yeah.
just get farmed down yourself.
Ooh, nice lead for Bomber there. Goes immediately into the Wormadam, which I didn't realize is actually a solid save switch,
Yeah.
especially if Bomber is not bringing this Cavalier.
Yeah, without the Escavalier, there's really not too much. I mean, the Dragonite as well is a reasonable counter to Bug Bite, Wormadam, but not to be in this particular
Ooh.
situation. The first shield comes up for Vigoroth. It's building up a lot of energy, throwing the Bulldoze now.
Yeah, and with the defense drop, it means that maybe the Iron Head will KO. So he's definitely gonna go for it. Go for it before the Vigoroth tries to farm it down, and now you need to shield. Or you
Has
just
to.
let it go. Okay,
No,
shield.
shielding it.
Yeah, shielding. So yeah, this farm is nice because there is
Mm.
no body slam resistance on the other side.
Yeah, good observation. So there's the first
Yeah.
body slam coming through.
Yeah, Mandibuzz is a nice soak for all this energy, so it's gonna
Mhm.
take one, it's gonna take two, maybe even three, but this decides to switch into Dragonite, not Knight, sorry. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. Just save that body slam for something that is gonna care a little more about being hit by body slams.
Yeah. And not letting like the Mandibuzz farm it down because
Right.
this energy is also dangerous because Dragonite now has no shields. And this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
Dragonite
not
can
enough
only take a
KO.
couple more.
Oof.
I was gonna say a couple more air slashes or a couple of dragon breaths.
Yeah. It was like three. And now Dragonite with two shields versus Lantern with none. So
I call that the Pacho
that's a
situation.
GG. Yeah.
Dragonite with two shields in the end game.
Yeah, there's just no way. I like the play of throwing surfs because if your lantern is running spark, you don't really need to throw the thunderbolt. Surf plus the quick moves are just enough. So nice recognition. Also, the opponent has two shields. So let's see. It's gonna just shield it up. Oh, but remember, Vigoroth has a move, right? Has a body slam,
It
so needs to be wary
does.
of the snipe.
Oh, and there it is. Hello.
Hello,
Bummer.
Dragonite.
We were
Yeah,
packing this game
excellent.
up.
Goodbye, Dragonite. And now it's just a Mandibuzz,
And there's
which is
another
gonna
body
take another
slam.
body slam. Oof. But the thing
Wow.
is, it's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough.
I mean,
And now
it
it's
can
all
get one more
about
counter off
who's
as
gonna.
well.
Oh, has the move? No, it does not. So wow,
Italia.
wow. Talk about plot twist. We all thought that Dragonite was going to win.
I know.
And then we quickly remind, okay, but wait, Vigoroth has a move. You cannot shield this.
We
And
pointed that
then,
out as well, and then we completely forgot about it. We were like, oh yeah, don't count that Vigoroth out. And then we counted the Vigoroth out.
Yeah, so perfect recognition, just saving that Vigoroth one body because he knew the Dragonite was gonna be in the back, and that body slam was gonna be key there. Nice, very well played.
All
Now
right.
we see Mandibuzz versus Umbreon, and I'm glad that we are not seeing that Matrix bullshit right now.
This isn't actually very good for me because this if anything's gonna put me to sleep, this will. But
Yeah. Now let's try to talk it out. So, how are you? How was your day?
Oh, look, it's been long, Pacho. But putting all this together, plus you know, all my other work that I've got to get done. It's fun, but there's a lot to it.
So, what about AG? She was supposed to be here, right?
Yeah,
In your place. So
she-
that's on her. You see, my man here needs to rest. It's like 4 a.m. where he is. That's all on AG.
I mean, I can't blame her. She's currently dealing with a hurricane. There's a hurricane where she is right now.
Wow. So now finally something happens. Catches the aerial waste on the Vigoroth. Very, very well played. So it's a little bit of energy wasted. And we see War Madame counter switch. Interesting.
And look, that aerial ace, while the aerial ace didn't do very much damage to the Vigoroth, it has chipped it just enough so that single Bug Buzz will absolutely get the job done. Or an Iron Head, yeah, can...
I think, yeah. You can save like a little bit of energy. And maybe if it does not KO, you can farm it down. But I think it does. It barely KOs, right?
Yes, yep, you called it.
Nice. And now you cannot come back with Umbreon. But there is also a terrifying scenario that the Dragonite's gonna come and just fully farm it down. Just one shield, farm down.
And this is why it's beneficial to throw the Iron Head, because it enabled it to get to that second move and force that shield from the Dragonite.
Yeah, could have thrown the Dragon Claw to avoid wasting the shield, but maybe just wants the energy, and now we it's just going so fast, man.
Yeah.
It's like wow, it's crazy. And it's gonna take both shields from the Dragonite, and it's gonna be like an Umbreon.
Ooh,
Ooh!
nice. And now
That
coming
was
out,
weird.
catching the foul play on the Umbreon as well. So that Dragonite still has more room in this battle. And we could see another situation like the
That's,
Vigoroth last battle.
yeah, that's a GG. This catch just made all the difference. I mean, Bomber just caught that aerial waste, and so Deku said, "Okay, so repay you the favor. Let me just catch your resisted move on my Mandibuzz and just let my Dragonite
Yeah.
win the game. Because right now Dragonite has a Dragon Claw loaded, can even go for a superpower flex. Let's see. I would love to see like a superpower flex, but maybe he doesn't have the move."
We saw the
Oh, it's
Umbreon
not gonna
trying
even
to get the
happen.
farm down. That was almost a great
So
comeback as well.
disappointing.
Like Bomber tried to go for that farm down, was like one snarl away.
Yeah, very well played.
Okay, so Deku
Nice. And point to Chile.
yeah, gets one back, makes it a little bit harder for Italy to complete that comeback.
Yeah. So Chile is only 6 points away, right, from winning.
They
It's
are.
first to 25.
First
So
25.
Italy just needs to, get the breaths in, just get the shields done, and just try to come back. It's not over yet.
That's right.
Let's see.
Yeah, people.
I've
come
seen
back
miracles
from...
before.
Yeah, right, right. Let's see if X1 can pull off a miracle. So, Shadow Dragonite, Sableye, Wormadam, Lantern, Mandibuzz, and Vigoroth. Looks like they're running
on
pretty
Nacho's side
similar
with
teams.
the Double Dragon too.
Yeah.
With
So,
Dragonair. Interesting.
so what's the difference? It's
So
Nacho's
pretty
not
much
running the
same
Sableye.
teams. Yeah, same teams, but X1 is running Sableye and Nacho running the Dragonair. Double
Yeah.
Dark versus Double Dragon.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's
What
see
is the
who's
superior
gonna-
strategy?
Yeah. Let's see. So we already see Vigoroth into the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz, which is running Air Slash. So again, some fast move pressure, but low charge move pressure. First body slam coming through. Don't need to shield this. And let's see.
We won't see a shield for a while.
I'm loving these names. These names in Italian. It's like it's very fun.
The
Like,
Excelente.
Ripica. So funny to say. Ripica. And we see now Golpe Cuerpo here from the Vigoroth. Not shielded. And it's gonna try to get you another move.
First, Mandibuzz throwing the power play, gets the Bene, gets the Otimo, gets the Excelente.
Ripica gets shielded. And now Vigoroth can even overfarm in this matchup. Maybe even farm down.
Ooh, can it do it?
Ooh,
Can it do it?
that's a
Oh,
nice farm it down. Perfect.
perfect.
Now he's gonna see what comes in. Perfect. And then throws the first body slam. Which is not gonna be shielded. But maybe the second will. Let's see. Okay, first one comes through. Second one.
Just go on
Not
the straight
shielding.
double body slam. Not
Wow.
bothering to bank it like he has with some of the others. So just doing
Just
as much
trusting
damage
Dragon
to
now.
the Vigoroth as they can before the Vigoroth goes down. We now get the Dragonite coming in and counter swap with the Dragonair. And watch these
my
things disappear.
gosh.
Look at that. Now, is Nacho going to use that second shield? Wow, they are. So just a couple
Wow.
more Dragon Breaths will take out the Shadow Dragonite. Or just one even. But now they are down
but
2
the
shields.
problem now, it's just too much for this Vigoroth. Unless it just switches counter for charm, there's no way he's not gonna win this. Mandibuzz too bulky for you. It's gonna just go for the full farm down, and all those shields are just going
It's
to
a
waste.
shame, yeah.
You see, that's the problem with this meta. If you're like just be stiff with your shields, you're just gonna take them home because Dragon Breath is that oppressive.
So Chile
Nacho
hit
taking
the
the
20
win
mark
there.
now.
Yeah,
They are 5 away from the win.
yeah.
Italy very valiantly trying to stage that comeback. They have been creeping back, but not quite enough yet at the moment.
Yeah. So let's see. Second match. Let's see.
It's coming. Here it is.
All right. Again, Vigorov versus Warmadam. We've seen this match like plenty of times, and this time, X1 decided not to bring the Shadow Dragonite. Just realizing that wait, I cannot outbulk my opponent. It's like too much fast move pressure. So let's see. Body slam coming through. No shoot from the Warmadam. Nice.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I think you've got to throw the bulldoze first up there. They rarely like when your opponent knows I can tank whatever move this is very easily, then they're so much less likely to shield.
And I even think that maybe Body Slam is still more efficient because Bulldoze is that
right?
crappy of a move.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, the
And I see
Iron
it's gonna feel
Head.
like another Body Slam.
Ooh.
I think it's not gonna KO. And Warmadam is just gonna go for the full farm down. Perfect. And now it's at a move. Yeah, almost at a move. Throws the Iron Head onto the Mandibus. Mandibus does not shield.
So just some
Mandibus
consolation
just
damage there.
does not care.
Mandy
Just
don't
cheap
care.
damage, man. And switches into the Mandibus, not letting it get farmed down. Interesting. Okay.
So we see the Mandibuzz on Mandibuzz action. They're both throwing the aerial
Of
aces
course.
as you would do when your opponent is a dark type. What was that? Area Salto or something?
Throws the wrong move.
Wow. Were they expecting a catch maybe? No.
I don't know. He just clicked and then shit, it was it was the another one, but then the
Maybe
game
they
already
sneezed.
registered. So Aéreo Assalto, which is a pretty interesting name for such a crappy move, just aerial waste.
It sounds so
Golpe
much
Aéreo
better.
comes in. And the Aéreo Assalto is gonna come out. Let's see. No shields. And you see, just because he threw the wrong move, one Mandibus is already so much HP ahead of the other. So, okay, he's gonna throw the Body Slam right into the CMP. Nice. Not want to waste the shield.
Perfectly timed. That was so well timed.
And now it's like Dragon Breath versus counter, and this is just a fast move beatdown. I don't think you want to throw unless you get like back-to-back moves.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're relying on fast pressure, I would tip the Dragonair to win that race. So maybe X1 has to start pressuring shields and hopefully like get it to a situation where the back can do some work.
Perfect. You see, move timing here is essential because if you mistime it and you get like a full counter, you just lose this race. So it's gonna throw another Body Slam. Still has the Mandibuzz, which I think is gonna switch in right now. Let's see. Oops. Get some notifications on the Gymbreakers server. He's gonna try to get it, but it's not gonna get it.
Wow, excellent farm down. And now this Body Slam will finish the job against the Nacho Malik Mandibuzz.
Yeah, very well played. So Italy, it's coming strong, just saying, okay, man, I'm here to win. I'm here to counter down your Dragonair. So bring your Mandibuzz for the full Body Slam spam. Very nice. So 14-20, getting close. Let's see. X1 just trying to get it. So it's like the third match, right? From these two?
This will be number 3, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. I'm getting nervous. I'm just eating my snails right now.
Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the exciting one to see. Who pulls out first? Do you try and stay in? Do you try and beat your opponent? No, the X1 Dragonite takes that one. So in that shootout,
It's gonna be a
X1
very
takes it.
quick match.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, but
Wow.
X1's back to Pokemon are quite bulky.
Mm-hmm.
So it might. I think that the match will slow down quite a lot from here. We still might
Yeah.
get the full 4 minutes.
Yeah, let's see, because we see a lot of fast move pressure. You see, Dragon Breath versus counter, and Dragonair. Keep in mind, just have like a 1 or 2 Dragon Breath advantage, right?
Yeah.
Because it farmed down the Dragonite. So Body Slam coming through. For those who don't know, I've seen people commit this mistake. Body Slam is better than Aqua Tail in neutral matchups. Just keep in
Yes.
mind, people. So both are the same energy, so just throw the Body Slam. So Body Slam here, Body Slam there. Dragonair is gonna go for
Body
the
slam everywhere.
next Body Slam and catches into the Mandibuzz. It's not a terrible catch. It's gonna throw
No, not at
anyway,
all.
so maybe now we see some Vigoroth action. Okay.
No, the
it's gonna stay in
Dragonite's
for a little bit.
staying in. Yeah, so building up that move before switching out, which is a high level play. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that a lot of people realize that they can do. Once they see the switch, they usually just think, "Oh, quick! I got to switch into my other Pokemon."
Yeah, switch. Yeah, but just keeping the charge move loaded, it's good because you see Mandibuzz does not have a lot of fast move pressure, so you can just farm the move and just switch out and then just have that move in the back. It's gonna throw on the CMP, Body Slam. It's not gonna KO the Mandibuzz, but the question is, do the foul play KOs the Vigoroth?
From here, I'm gonna wager that it leaves it
Barely
with
doesn't.
barely any health left. Yeah,
Oh,
sounds
and
about
now
right.
Not gonna let. Oh, nice from the Vigoroth. It's gonna throw on the CMP.
And here's that
Perfect.
move. Did the
Yeah.
so the
And
Vigoroth
I
have the
think-
move, didn't they?
Yeah. So, and I think from there, Dragonair is just gonna farm it down, right?
Yeah,
1,
that
2,
you
3.
can't build up to that move. Yeah,
4.
Dragonair takes
Wow.
that.
Very nice.
21
so
now.
21, 14.
4
4
points to
points
go.
left. Let's go.
There is still
Chile
one
just
battle left in this match.
Holding tight to their points.
X1 still had. Well, I mean, the whole Italian team still has a huge job to do. They need to get
Yeah.
11 more points before Team Chile can get 4.
Yeah, basically we need some 3-0s, right? From
We
the
need some
Italian
trios.
team.
Yeah, totally.
It's gonna be rough, but
It's
not
gonna be tough.
impossible.
It can be done, of course.
Can be done.
Although the fact that everyone watching this is Chilean right now, or everyone commenting is Chilean, I think that kind of gives you a clue as to what's happened now.
Yeah, Nacho the best.
Nacho is pretty good. Now, it's looking like we don't have this third battle coming up. Let me check the video
From
here.
both sides?
Yeah, so it looks like this battle has cut off there. So, I'm going to have to check my notes to see who won that third battle. So, who won the first two? It was one for the Italians and one for the Chileans, right?
Yeah,
Yep. The third one,
was for the Nacho. Nacho won that.
goes to Nacho.
I think it was 2-1 Nacho, right?
Oh, so we did have 3, and I just forgot to put on the
Yeah.
score. So that means the Chile has 3 points to go.
Yeah.
So now the
If-
job is
if
even
our-
tougher
our
than it was
counts are
previously.
correct. Oops. Can I just forget about this 1 point? Just to make it interesting. Just give the point to the Italians. It's
I mean,
unlimited.
I'd love
Just do
to.
it.
I'd love to. I don't think I have that authority. Alright, so X1 is back again, and this time against Emilio. Let's see if they can pull
Yeah.
back the points. They need to start winning these matchups. In fact, even just a 1-win set is fine for the Chileans at this point. So
Yeah,
X win every battle counts.
yeah. And Emilio just come rocking the double counter, double steal strategy against the double dark,
Mm.
and yeah, double dark from X1. So a lot of bulk on the X1 team. So maybe this is gonna play, very well. Both sides are bulky actually.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
almost the same teams. The only difference is like the Seblai on the X1 side and this Cavalier on the Emilio side. And we all know Seblai best counter to the counter users.
Uh-huh.
So I
Uh-huh.
think we might see some nice play from the Seblai on the X1 side against Emilio. And Emilio, maybe yeah. I was going to to mention the lantern. Lantern is really good. So we see Seblai into the Dragonite. Seblai running return this time. Okay. Still needs
Yeah,
to
the more
shield,
standard moveset.
even though it's a foul play. Foul play would probably just KO the Dragonite. And switches into the Mandibus. And here comes the Lantern punishing the
Yeah.
switch.
Oh man, that
Perfect. And you
lantern's
see,
licking its lips. It's rubbing its
yeah.
little
And
fins
you see,
together.
because a Mandibus is running airs, even better matchup for Lantern. So you can overfarm like crazy here and just grab all the shields from X1 later.
The
First Thunderbolt comes through. No shields from the Mandibus, just knows. But he's gonna try to get to this last minute Ripika.
Ripika.
try to chip, try to chip the lantern. It's just fun to say.
Yeah, yeah, and the lantern, they can't really farm down here all the way. Or can it? No, it can't.
Yeah,
So it
well,
throws a surf to
technically
finish it off.
maybe it could, but just didn't want to take the chances.
I don't think
Fine.
he could have. I think it might have been like the Manabuzz. I think would have gotten to another power play or
It
another
was like
Ripika.
2 air slashes away. I don't know. Maybe throw one CMP. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Comes Vigoroth to soak the damage. Just remember Surf to throw here. Vigoroth throws the first shield. Nice. And now you go to for the Thunderbolt, right? Okay, switches into this own Vigoroth. Wow. But now he can just trap you. Okay. Oh, wow. I thought that the Seblai was gonna come in. Okay. Maybe he's gonna farm the back-to-back. Oh, he already
Yeah,
has it
there
back.
we go.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Why not just bring the Seblai? What's happening, X1? You need the points.
Come on,
Don't mess it
X1.
up.
Don't let Pacho
Just
down.
catch it. No, bad timing. Bad timing. He's gonna take the Bulldogs.
Oh no, the Bulldogs.
Oh gosh, so Seblai is gonna go
X1.
down. X1, we all had so much faith on you.
Yeah, we were counting on
Ooh.
you. The pressure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
now
here comes the
it's
Dragon Claw.
Dragonite time.
Gonna take
Oof.
out the Vigoroth.
Wow. What a twist.
Yeah.
Point Chili. 23. Come on. Yeah, could have thrown the superpower. I agree with Memi. Just go for the BM.
Yeah.
We
An
want to
appropriate
see a
use of that
superpower
BM.
landing on the Vigoroth. Please.
Although to be honest, as much as I do want Italy to come back, I don't think I could last that
Quite
long.
hard.
You can
Yeah.
probably see my eyes like drooping closed as I'm talking
Yeah, but
here.
don't worry. I got you. The girls just took the hardest part because hers was really like really long.
Yeah, it was.
The
So-
Surfs comes in, Vigoroth no shield.
Yeah, a bulldoze. I mean, you
Okay.
called it before. It's a weak move, so even the bulldoze wouldn't be enough. So throwing the body slams, going unshielded, Lantern's like, what do I need shields for? This isn't gonna hurt.
Yeah. And Emilio is actually quite happy to see Lantern in the lead because Mandibuzz in the back is quite happy. Okay, takes the Surf. It's gonna probably throw back-to-back body slams. Yes, perfect. Throws the first one. Even if Lantern gets to the move, it can just throw the body slam on the CMP, so it's not gonna KO. It's gonna snipe with the Dragonite. Nice
Ooh,
play.
let's go.
I like it. I like it.
But now
And now
X1 has the choice of what to throw
Dragonite and
in.
Dragonite. No.
No.
Wow.
No Dragon
I
off.
don't know if I agree with that.
So what you would have
Okay,
thrown in
maybe
the
he's gonna
Dragonite?
chip. I mean, take the shields and then farm down with his own. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Wow, it's okay. For
Wow.
a second, I thought it was running Dragon Tail. It was just lagging. Okay, shields the Dragotali,
Tally, I think.
Dragotali. Just funny names. Comes Mandibus. You don't have the clock yet, so I'm gonna throw the big move. Both are neutral, but superpower just hits harder and allows it to be, not farmed as hard because it's gonna KO. Perfect. And now Vigoroth has a really uphill battle against this Mandibus. Yes, has a shield advantage, but needs to be wary of the catch. Unfortunately, times the movie the movie the move a little bit bad, so takes a full air slash. Okay, Mandibus has okay, almost back-to-back foul plays. The game lags. Niantic, what are you doing?
Come on, Niantic.
Come on, Niantic. It's a lot in game here. Stakes are high. So choose the first one. He's gonna take the second one, and I don't think Vigoroth lives this. Oof. Let's see. Yeah, Barry doesn't. And
Yeah.
X1 just takes the loss again. So 24.
24, so
14. Match point, guys.
Match
Let's go,
point.
Italia. Let's go.
come on, you can do it, Italia.
It's like X1 needs like not lose this one, and the next player needs not to lose a single match. So it's still doable. Let's go. Let's go. Still can happen. Let's see what X1's gonna do now. So Dragonite versus Mandibus. All right. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Throws it the Dragon Claw. Mandibus does not shield. Interesting. It's gonna take the Dragon Claw. Perfect. And now it's just a wary of the catch. But since X1 is not catching, it's gonna throw the foul play. Needs to be shielded. And the Mandibus is already at a back-to-back move. So yeah, it's almost there. It's gonna throw the Dragon Claw. Don't need to shield this. I don't think it's worth it. No. Maybe just comes in with your own Dragonite. Perfect. And now the farm down is real. And now with a shield up. Oh, why coming in with Vigoroth, man? I just don't understand.
That's so
Just
weird.
come on. That's so weird. I mean, okay, you can threaten with the body slam. Counter is resisted. And Vigoroth is way less tanky than Lantern. And now it
Now the
switches.
Lantern can take a Dragon Claw, can do some work with Spark, get it into Surf range.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
No.
Ooh,
I'm just being
CMP
hopeful here.
guy. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. Okay, no shield. The Dragaktili,
Dragatiligi.
even, even misses some bubbles. Fine. KOs the Dragonite anyways. And now Vigorov's gonna farm it down. And now it's gonna be very hard to come back from this.
I feel like you've just given up, Hacho.
One shield.
You'd be like,
it's
this is
just
the
way. It's just no way. It's just no way. You can even tank this move. Just tank it. Just do it. Shoot flex. No shield. No shield. Why would you just throw your move? Why? Just why? Well, yeah.
In emphatic fashion, Chile just stamping that game shut. They have closed the book on the Italian game, and they've lost 2 matches in a row after going so long in the upper bracket. They lose to USA and then lose to Chile, back-to-back sets. They are out.
Yeah, but I really like the play style from the Chilean players. I mean, that's why they won like in such a nice fashion. They're
Yeah.
like always recognizing what you need to do to tank moves and when to farm with your Dragon Knight, because Dragon Knight is the name of the game. This meta is just a lot,
A lot of Dragon
a
Knight
lot of
action.
pressure from Dragon Knights and Mandibus to tank the moves and Lantern to counter the Mandibus and Vigoroth doing, Vigoroth.
Yeah.
So I really like the way they played. So even though the teams look very similar, they played in a really unique style and just guaranteed the win. So
Absolutely.
congratulations, Chile.
So they will be taking on USA in the overall final. Now, we don't have a date set for that final just yet because the state of the game at the moment is kind of making it difficult to get the matches done. So we are kind of holding on to because it's the last round, the last 2 countries in it. We can afford to hold off to see if they can fix these glitches in a timely fashion.
Yeah,
but keep an eye
frame
on
dropping is
all those
awful.
exactly. So keep an eye on if you're in the Gymbreakers Discord server. They'll make announcements there. It'll be happening on the My PvP Academia channel, so you can check their channels and keep an eye on their channels for some announcements as well. Maybe they'll invite Pacho along. Maybe they'll invite Fish. You might see some familiar faces. AJ is usually there. So we'll see. One more thing. As we stated at the beginning of the stream, this stream is brought to you by Pogo Raiders. If you're looking for an online tool for hosting or joining raids, check out Pogo Raiders. They have been optimizing a fully custom raiding organization tool for over a year with 3,000 raids a day and over 150,000 members. You've got to try it out. Beyond the custom rating tool, Pogo Raiders is also a community of dedicated Pokemon Go players. Join their monthly PvP tournaments and win some cash prizes. Find help from some of the best players in the world, along with access to infographics and more information about everything Pokemon Go. You can check them out at pogoraiders.gg or on Discord at discord.gg/pogoraiders.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Let's find someone to raid, shall we? Thank you also to our producer. Not our producer. I'm the producer. Thank you to the editor.
You're the producer.
Yeah. Thank you to me. But
thank
also,
you to myself.
HisuianRyan has just been an absolute champion in trying to get these battles together as well. So thank you to him. Looks like the only person that I'm following that is streaming Pokemon Go right now is Inadequance. So I think it'll be 2 nights in a row for Inadequance. I'm sure he's going to be super excited getting those 20-odd viewers.
Nice. And stay tuned for the big final between USA and Chile. Coming soon. We just don't know when, so stay tuned to the channel and on the Discord server.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh, and do you want to plug your own channels, Pacho?
Oh, sure. So I'm a Brazilian streamer, so if you want to see some Brazilian tilt because of the state of the game, so just come and see me. We stream every Saturday now at 9 p.m. Brazilian time. So if you're up late, you cannot sleep, and you want just to learn some Portuguese, just come around. I'll be there. So twitch.tv/PachoBlues. I'll see you there.
Twitch.tv/PachoBlues and Need for Speedy. I'm sure you're still there. Do you want to tell us the channels that we can reach you at?
Yep, I am at Need for Speedy Go everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. And definitely I tend to stream a little bit later in the evening. Mostly focusing on GBL, but sometimes I'll do crazy things and do other things, but it's typically a pretty good time.
All right, thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll catch you at the next one.
See you.
Thank you.